Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Recording in progress.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining Stocks Network Trading. My name is Ron. My partner is Dave. It is 2 a.m. Eastern on this very early morning. Welcome everybody. Thank you guys for joining. It's a little different scheduling that we're used to here at SST, but you know, we can trade around the clock anytime, whatever it is. But right now we're doing live London, pre-London right now, 2 a.m. So yeah, guys, I've got a good 2 hours of sleep. I kind of call it a little nap. I went to sleep like midnight after the hockey game, but it was a blowout. Florida took care of Edmonton last night, 6-1. It wasn't even a good hockey game, but I was just sitting there watching a little bit of it. So guys, what the plan is today is we're gonna go get our charts ready, get ready for live London in exactly 60 minutes. And we'll be watching. We're going to get started with gold because I know everybody here loves gold. So we'll get started with gold. It's kind of like universal. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. We're always looking to trade gold. And we'll complement London session with this security over here on my chart, which is DE30 over here. This is a security of many names. Some of you guys might know this as DAX, D-A-X. Some of you guys know this from GER30 or GER40, that's German 30, German 40, or even DE30, okay? All depending on your brokerage or prop firm, whatever it's listed. But this is the German exchange, and it's has to do a lot with Europe. So we will focus on that. We tend to do NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and S&P for New York sessions. So for London, what we'll do is we'll keep with this theme for now, gold and German 30, DAX. And we can add a third chart if we have some time, and then that's a third chart of whatever you guys want. We can do currency if you like the British pound, US dollar, if you like euro, US dollar. If you guys want to see something else, you guys let me know. But we'll get started with gold and DAX for now. We'll see how those two are moving, and then we'll add a third chart if we need to, okay? So really quickly, guys, this is pre-London right now, the 1 hour before London market open. Normally there is some news in Europe at this time, so let's take a look if we have any news. So we're on Forex Factory right now, 2 a.m. We do have news that just came out right now as I'm speaking. So we had GBP, you can see here the currency, its average earnings index. It's an orange folder, it's medium impact. So the numbers just came out. Our British UK claimant count change just came out, and we have our British unemployment that just came out, okay? We also have tentative anytime right here, but the Bank of Japan already released their preliminary machine tool orders. And then we have at London market open, we do have some Swiss news, the SICO consumer climate. At 4 a.m. we also have some Italian industrial production, and at 4:30 we have some European Centex investor confidence report, okay? And then after that, I'm going to go back to sleep get a good maybe 3 hours of sleep again, another nap, and then I got to get up at 8 a.m. To start the construction. Probably you guys can see in the background, you're wondering, what is that wall that's framed up in the background? That's going to be a soundproof wall, and on the other side there's going to be an entrance, a door there entering into the bar. So I'm working on that. I'm doing some construction here. That's why we got different hours this week, and next week maybe we'll do some Tokyo sessions going into next week, okay? But that's the news. And if you're continuing to trade, Dave will be back at 8 a.m. in the Zoom. And guys, one thing I want to mention here is President Trump speaks today at 4 p.m. So that's exactly at market close, 4 p.m. That's when Wall Street closes, and you can see President Trump speaks, okay? So if you click on the folder, he's due to speak at the 250th anniversary of the United States Army in Fort Bragg, okay? And what he says there, I have no idea, but markets tend to move with whatever he's talking about, if he relates whatever he's talking about to the markets or tariffs or anything. But this could be more of a military speech over here at the United States Army, okay? And that will be at 4 p.m., okay? And then following day tomorrow, I'll let you guys know in the hours. Either we'll do pre-New York or we'll do like pre-London or post-London. Maybe tomorrow we'll do 4 a.m. Eastern. We'll start after London session, and we'll go till Dave starts like around 7:30, 8 a.m. depending. I'll let you guys know all about scheduling. If you guys like this session, I can come in and do this session again. But we can mix it up, no worries, okay? And earnings, we went over earnings yesterday. We went over the entire week of earnings. There wasn't too much going on. This is right now today in the pre-market. What we've got, there's again no big names in the pre-market today. After hours, just maybe one name that everyone's familiar with is GameStop at 4 p.m. They have their earnings. I know a lot of retail traders do trade this security, have shares of the security. Lately, they've been buying up Bitcoin on their balance sheet, so that could be what their forecast is talking about, how they're getting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're starting to accumulate, similar to some other corporations that are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Okay, so they have earnings in the after hours. Yahoo Finance right now. Let's just see what's going on in the markets. A lot has to do with Canada and mortgages and the housing in Canada right now. What else do we see? Why the Canadian dollar is going up when the economy is going down. The Canadian dollar is backed by crude oil. About 30 to 40% of the Canadian dollar is backed by crude oil. So when we see gains in crude oil, we can see strength in the Canadian dollar. That is one one correlation that it has, but it's not always. If we see a strong dollar strengthening, it's not just due because crude oil is increasing. It could be various factors, but that's one factor. What else we got going on over here? Let's see. Auto companies in full panic over rare earths bottleneck is in the news. So you might see car manufacturers, GM, Chrysler, Ford, Stellantis, all of those names could be in the news due to the tariffs. Where I live in Ontario, they do a lot of cross-border production in Michigan. When a car is built, sometimes it's crossed over the border 6 times before the final product is made. Like a part can come from America, be assembled in Canada. From Canada, it goes back to the U.S., another sub-assembly. Then from there, it goes to Mexico, and from Mexico, it comes back to the United States. Then finally, it comes into Canada for final assembly, and then when it's all done, then it's shipped back into the U.S. for sale. So you can see how many times it crosses the border here in North America, and these tariffs do affect a lot of that. So you might see the auto industry taking a hit lately until these tariffs are dealt with. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of job layoffs. We can already see that in Michigan and Ontario, a lot of in the auto manufacturing. There's been a lot of layoffs as of late. And there's no sign when they're going to come back. Okay, so that is in the news. It's developing in the news. Again, every single day, Musk's feud with Trump reveals one ugly truth about Tesla stock. So if you're a Tesla trader, shareholder, investor, I'm sure you're all aware about what's going on here, but something to keep an eye on because Tesla right now is very volatile with all of the news as of late. Trump says China not easy as trade talks to resume today. So this is big. Keep an eye on this. Anytime there's some relief with China and the U.S. in tariffs or negotiations, it's great for the U.S. dollar. It's great for the entire stock market as a whole. So if we start to see something working out positive between the U.S. and China in delegations in the UK right now, we could expect to see another green day in the markets. Okay, so that's. Pay attention to this, guys, not just today, for the entire week and for days to come. Okay, so it's very important. What else we got going on here? Lots going on with Tesla's self-driving future. This is developing news. U.S. deploys the Marines to Los Angeles as Trump tensions with Newsom intensify. So you see a lot of riots in Los Angeles right now against ICE and everything like that. And now Trump is deploying the U.S. Marines out there. So things are developing. It's getting, by the day, something is going on. Okay, guys? And that does affect the markets in some way. Okay, so we do have to be careful, always trading with proper risk management. Okay, in our Discord, we did send out, we were 3 for 3 with our signals yesterday. So there was some good signals in the index section with US 30, nice big move over 200 pips. There was some moves in with gold. Gold, there were some good buys running 200 pips as well. And also FX, some moves as well. Okay. So we'll keep an eye if we get any signals this morning, and we'll be on top of that. Also, guys, there's a free Telegram group. It's pinned at the top of YouTube for you guys. It's right over here. Here's the YouTube. This is a little recap of our signals yesterday and summary of our last trade sessions that we did. And everything you need is in our free Telegram. It's available for you guys. And also, here's our website. If you're interested in joining the team, stocksnipertrain.com. And there's also a free blog. If you go to more, there's free blogs available, multiple blogs. With anything to do, anything about the markets is available here in a blog. Okay, guys, let's get into it. Now I'm on the charts. I'm going to get started. You can see we have gold over here, XAU USD. It's on the 5 minutes right now, but we're going to start a top-down analysis from the daily, bring it down to the hourly, and then finally bring it down to the 5 minutes, and we can watch that leading into London market open in the next 50 minutes. And then we'll also do a second chart too, and that's this one right here. This is DAX. You can see the German flag over here. So it might be German 30, German 40 for you. It might be DAX, DAX. It might even be what the ticker says right here, DE30 euro. Okay, so this is the German exchange. It's very similar to like US 30 or NASDAQ. It is the index of the German economy, the German stock market. It used to be 30 of the largest German corporations. They changed it to 40 corporations. That's why you might see German 30 or German 40 on some of the brokerages. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's the German stock exchange, okay? So that's what we'll be looking for. The reason why we're gonna take a look at this during London is because it has to do with the European markets, okay? There's a lot of European news that will directly impact this, okay? We can always look at, like tomorrow in London session, if you guys want, we can look at US 30 and NASDAQ, similar to what we do in New York, but we wanna kind of keep it securities for the appropriate session. Okay, and gold is moving very bullish right now. I can see it's moving. It just broke out of this consolidation, making higher highs and higher lows. So we'll get into that, and we'll start on the daily on one chart, and I'll bring it together for both charts together. Okay, welcome everyone. Good morning, everyone on Zoom. It's early out here. I can't believe we have Dennis from London as well. From my London, not from London, England, London, Ontario. Dennis, what are you doing up at 2 a.m, brother? So we've got Dennis here. He's just lives down the street from me, and he's up too. So you can see everyone has their own thing that they do here. Welcome. Good morning, Khaled. Samuel. I got a little nap, but I'll get a little bit more, so it's in increments. Joel, welcome. A Zoom in Dubai. Yeah, feels feels different. Remember, Joel, we used to do these back in the day, a long time ago. Yeah, Dennis, funny man, you're up. Samuel, how do I only get 2 hours sleep and function? Because I've been doing this for years. You'll know as you understand like trading and things like that. You'll be around the clock, 24 hours. You'll be doing different sessions, and it's just get up. I got a coffee and ready to go. You know, it's once you get in the charts, I don't you don't even think you're tired anymore. You just get right into it. But you got to be really focused, guys. That's what like if you want to do this and you get lack of sleep and you're trading multi sessions, you still got to be very focused. You can't make mental errors. You can't, if you're sleepy, if you're tired, we always stress don't be trading. So you have to be very alert when you're doing this, okay? So if you're trading around the clock and you're not getting enough sleep, I wouldn't advise that, okay? Unless you have the experience to do stuff like this. But I've been doing this for majority of my life, so I'm used to it. At these, I'm 43 now, so I got used to it. Brad Marchand's destroying another Canadian team in the Cup Finals. I know. He's destroying right now Edmonton. It's tough. He's a great player, and Florida has an amazing team. So they are champions for a reason. Samuel, welcome. Conrad, good morning. Blanc, welcome. Thank you guys for joining. Mike, welcome. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Making money, Dennis. Attaboy. That's what it's all about. Vanita, thank you for joining. And everyone on YouTube, I appreciate you guys as well. Tony Gold, welcome. Everyone, thank you for joining. Hit the like button on YouTube if you guys do like London sessions and you want to see more of these. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and maybe we'll do more of these often. Okay, guys? So let's get started with gold. I'm going to get started with the daily. Okay, so this is normally what we do every session. Doesn't matter if it's London, if it's Tokyo, or if it's New York. I start off on the daily and then I work my way down. So this is gold. Most of you guys are very familiar with it. You can see we've had this big bullish push for months now, and this day right here, this wick on April 22 created the all-time high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that all-time high. Most of us know that the all-time high for gold is around 3,500 exactly. So that's our all-time high, and I want to also mark up this previous low point right there. That's our kind of swing high to swing low from the all-time high is 3,120. So I'm placing an orange line right there, so we can see the range we're in, the entire range. And when we look at our daily candles, we're kind of consolidating right in the middle of this range, ready to either break out of maybe above 3,400 and start moving up here and attempting that all-time high, or we're going to break down here below 3,300 and we're going to start pushing back down to 3,200 and then maybe test down in here. But when we came up to the all-time high, it got rejected, and then you can see that there was a base of volume that was kind of accumulated right in this area. So what I do right here is I kind of consolidate this volume right in there, and you can see that that is where the most of that bearish volume kind of accumulated. If we stretch this into the future like we normally do, then we can see that it came right back. The buyers bought right back into this zone, and it came right in there, and it closed above, and the next day bearish ignited candle came right back down and closed below 50%. Then you can see the retest came in there and back down. So you can see that that's a double top zone from the all-time high. And if we continue with this same zone, stretching it into the future, all last week we traded in this red zone, but it got rejected. You can see we traded in there Monday, early in the week. We had all week, 4 days to trade in there and break out of there, and it failed on Tuesday, it failed on Wednesday, it got all the way in there on Thursday, but got rejected, and then we pushed down. And this is where we're trading at now. So you can see how they the sellers move the market away from this all-time high red zone. Okay, so what I would do and recommend is stretch it into the future. If we ever do come back up into this red zone, we're going to treat it as a supply zone until the buyers can close above and prove to us otherwise. Then we will flip that zone back to green. Okay, now when we have a red zone, can we find the green zone? The green zone, what we've been identifying for since prior to all of this action, was this bullish flag. That's what we had marked from, you can go back and watch the videos back here in the middle of April, and I guarantee you I was marking up that zone. I was marking it green. Why? Because it is a bullish flag coming back from these 3 days, and it closed above this structure. It kind of flagged right in there, and then you can see that that was the move that took us to the all-time high. If you continue with that zone, that bullish flag, now it looks easy, but you got to kind of do this ahead of time and stretch everything into the future. Then you can see when it actually came into here, it traded right in that green box and took us to that double top, and we got rejected. It did come back down and actually close below the green box right over here on May 14, closed below. We did actually open ignited on May 15, and we pushed down. That's where that orange low is. But we came right back up, and then you see it barcoding. Bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, and then it reattempted inside here and then closed out of there. So you can see there was a minor break, but the volume still held up in there, and then you can see it's a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, where the depth of market was building. So if I stretch that green zone all the way into the future, again, just like I did with the red box, I can see it came up, it came back down. That was a big bearish day, but kind of rejected back out of there, and we moved up to last week's price action in the red zone, and now we're consolidating right here. Now that I have my supply zone, demand zone, I have my range high, all-time high, and I got my range low, now I got to do some type of analysis inside this zone. So what I look for are daily points of interest. I look where I can place a solid line, and right here we've been targeting this area like this, 3,285. You can see if I place a yellow line right here, and I'll explain why. So you can see the reason why I placed it here is because how everything was trading in the past. Here on this day, April 16, you have a very big bullish engulfed candle, very big bullish candle. And look at the next day's retest right there, right around 50%, right exactly at that yellow line, 32.85. Then we went right back up. Look at then where these bearish candles, they broke impulsively, like where they closed, right at the yellow line. Next day opened right at the yellow line. We had some impulse breaks below there, but the volume still closed above the yellow line. Here, the bearish candle closed right at the yellow line, and we pushed down. And then we got that big bullish candle coming up again, and you see 50%, half of it is still that yellow line. When it comes back down, it retests that yellow line, retests that yellow line. Now we're below it. Here's a big bearish candle. half of it, 50%, is still that yellow line. Then it acts as resistance over here and it turns to support, 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 body closing, body opening. So you can see how the market is holding volume at this level, 3285. Mark it on your charts. This is a very important daily point of interest. We came close to it yesterday. Yesterday's low was 3293. So we were $8 away from here, about 80 pips away. Still holding support. Today's low I can see right now is 3301. It's still above this, so it's still holding support structure, but that's an important daily point of interest, okay? And then if I look now, is there any points of interest that's being built above here? I would look at this one now. You see where the body closed on Tuesday and where we opened on Wednesday, where we closed on Thursday, and where we opened on Friday. This is all fresh volume of last week. Those are fresh areas. So I would place a yellow line right around there. It's at that body. You can see on Tuesday close. You can see Wednesday's open. You can see Thursday's close and Friday's open. And then look at the number, 3,350 and 1 penny. So it's a very psychological area, and that's our range, okay? If we can get volume above 3350, we can maybe move our way back up to 3380, the bottom of this red zone. Maybe we can drive a little higher and then we'll reach last week's high right there, Thursday, and it's relatively like 50% of this red zone. So there would be another point of interest, a yellow line, and it's just above psychological 3400, 3403 to be exact, okay? So that's our resistance, our points of interest above us. And then we do have some points of interest below us. Now what we can do is really dissect yesterday's volume and then how it moved into today. So I can go as far back as Friday. Remember Friday, it opened, it was originally bullish, then it got rejected and it came all the way down and we closed near low. That's how we finished Friday. We had the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. There was some news in the markets. And then yesterday, our point of interest. So now, again, let's go with our point of interest now. So we closed right there on Friday. We opened right there yesterday. So that's where we can place a yellow line. That's a point of interest. It's this week, right? That's Friday's close, Monday's open. So yesterday when we did open, it was initially bearish where gold came all the way down to 3,293. We're above this 3285. We're above this wick right here, and we're above the green box. So that's telling me that the depth of market is strengthening and creating a higher low in the market. The buyers stepped in, they rejected those sellers, they came all the way back up. To the opening position, we flipped, we were bullish, and that's as high as we got yesterday. So you can still see we're still below 50% of Friday's bearish volume, and it got rejected and we closed right there. So there was a little bit of bullish volume still left in yesterday's candle. Now, if we continue with what our theme is, we closed right there yesterday and we opened same area right here. 3,325. So we can see there's no gap ups, no gap downs. It was a clean close and a clean open, directly correlated with each other. Okay. Now let's take a look at when we opened. We were initially bullish. You can tell by the wick on the candle. It opened and it was just briefly bullish. Our high today is 3,328. So I place a purple line at the highest point, and that's showing me that is today's high, 3,328. It's still lower than yesterday. So what I can do is I can draw a line, yellow point of interest, now at yesterday's high. Because if we flip today's bullish candle and turn it into a hammer, we could possibly drive and fill yesterday's wick. And that will tell us exactly how many pips are involved. So purple line to the yellow line, you can do some simple math in your head. 328 to 338, very simple. It's a $10 move on gold. Every dollar is 10 pips in trading Forex with gold. So that's 100 pips. Just to flip and fill yesterday's wick is 100 pips. If it can continue to fill, we have our next point of interest right above us, 3,350. So everything is in increments. And then I can see 338 to 350, $12 move in gold. That's on an additional 120 pips. So if I'm trading inside there, I know exactly what my zones are. Okay, so when we opened, we came, we made our high, sellers were there, they rejected the move, they brought it down to where we opened, and then today's gold candle was very bearish. It came all the way down. It was engulfing all of yesterday's blue volume. It was down here, and it reached all the way down to 3,301. Right near that psychological 3,300. So that's our lowest point of the day. That's our low of the day down there at just above 3,300, 3,301. And then what I look at is now the purple line, and I see it's higher than yesterday's low. Okay, so you can see that we're creating a higher low, and we're still building off of this. Then the buyers stepped in and came right back in, where they're pushing now the momentum right back up to where we are. Now you see there's a little bit of bearish volume still left in the candle. We could easily flip this 30 pips, and then we're right back to the opening position, and then we could fill our tiny wick and start to fill yesterday's exhausted wick. However, sellers could step back in and start to push this volume back down. Now, if we come back down, what I look at is 50% of yesterday's volume. I look at where it opened, I look at where it closed. Half of it is right around here, around 33.18. So if I don't know where exactly 50% is, I can grab my Fibonacci tool from the opening of and closing of yesterday's volume. There's the 0.5, exactly 3318, what I just said. But now I know 100% I'm doing it accurately by pinpointing exactly where 50% is. If you want to draw yourself a little bullish zone and give yourself the benefit of the doubt from yesterday's volume, what you can do is you can use that same Fibonacci, and what you can do is the one line above 0.5 in this situation is 382, the one line below the 0.5 is 618 in this situation, and then this could illustrate where that bullish pocket is. If we do come back in here, we could maybe attempt to grab some pullback buys out of here. If the volume goes below here, we could turn this zone red, and we could look to sell off of this and continue to move down bearish. Okay, so right now the buyers have flipped the candle, flipped the momentum, but we still have this bearish volume. See now how it's coming down? So we're getting closer to London market open in the next 30 minutes. So maybe today's candle, daily candle, will flip either bullish or it will come back down bearish. Now what we can do is look at the overall pattern on the daily. This is where we kind of look at everything what we just talked about. So it's got this big bullish rally. That's what ran to the all-time high. There was a rejection. We held support here at the green box. We came back up with good volume. We couldn't really fill that all-time high wick. They rejected it. Second top in that red box, pushed all the way down. We broke this, but the buyers quickly recovered it. And then we've been trading in this zone. And you can see we're right in the middle of the red box, green box. So this is where we got some accumulation, some sideways action to see if we're going to continue to flip. Today looks good. It might flip bullish, and then we got some more room to the upside. So if you ask me my daily bias, I'm bullish on gold. If we can flip today's candle, which we're about to do in just a moment. Now what I do is I go down to the hourly, bring it down to the hourly now. Look at the hourly. It looks like a nice clean double bottom. Right over here. Here where we moved down yesterday, Friday. Here was the open during Sunday evening. So there's our kind of weekly bottom right down here, just below 3,300 at 32.95. We came right back up. There's our big resistance now on the hourly, big neckline. We came all the way down yesterday, kind of recovered. Look at the wicks. A wick rejection, wick rejection, wick rejection. And we started right now, 1 a.m. This is when we started getting this big bullish move, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. This we're here where we just started. So we're coming right back up, very bullish in the last 2 hours after some consolidation from right here at 10 p.m., 11, and midnight my time. So it's got a nice move, but we're still, trending down bearish. So if you were to draw a trend line from up here and coming down, that was the original trend line. And then you can see we just broke it right now. And then see where we retraced all the way back down. Look at what it tested. It tested the trend line. Here it was trend line resistance. When we broke above it and came back down, now it's trend line support. This red line is now a support line holding. You can see the consolidation, and now we're pushing right back above there, okay? So it looks like we just broke the trend line, came back, still holding good support, and now we're pushing up right at the high of the day, okay? So let's go to the 5 minutes and let's watch this right now. Very nice. Wow, look at the 5 minutes. Holy shit. Really strong move, okay? So we were consolidating down in here. It came up. You see where it closed above the 5 minute neckline. We got some good closing volume. It pushed up, it came back, retested multiple times. So you can see where there's good 5 minute support. Right in there, good 5 minute support. If we ever get a nice pullback coming down here, I'm going to place an alert at 3310. This is where I'd like to maybe buy a pullback today, at some point today. It doesn't have to be in the London session. This could be going into New York. This could be Colmex. This could be like after Wall Street. Right now, we got to come back down and test this green block right here at 3318 before we can come in here. But that would be a better buying because this is what actually broke the neckline. It came up there, got rejected, back down, created this big strong bottom, closed above there, and this is the big move. And then when you start to see these big candles right here at 130, if you looked at 50% of it, look at the pullback. Came down right into 50%, back up. Came down into 50% and back up. Okay, so look at the move now. Holy shit. Okay, we got a new high of the day. We're breaking our purple line. So this is where, if I look at my purple line, in the past, you can see 5 minutes had resistance right there. They were getting rejected right over here. They came up, rejected. Came up again, rejected. Came up right into it, rejected. So if I stretch that zone now into the future, I see that we just impulsively broke above there. That's the highest point, the purple line. And so we'll see, will it close above here bullish? We might momentarily flip this zone. It might retest and continue to go a little higher, or it might close below here. We might see like a leg push back down, and maybe we're walking into maybe a possible opportunity to sell this long move. It's getting, if you look at RSI on the lower time frames, like on the 5 minutes, I'm sure it indicates that we're getting overbought. Yeah, you can see, look at the RSI on the 5 minutes right now at 81. Okay, so it's screaming that it's overbought right now, and it's getting overbought right at the new daily high. Okay, so maybe we got to watch and see, will the sellers step in here and maybe push this thing back down? It might come back up like a double top and then start to break, and maybe we could look for a sell to bring it back down into the green zone. And then when it comes down here, we have to respect this green zone, because this is where the buyers who maybe missed this big move are waiting to maybe possibly buy back in here. So if we sell into here and we go up 30, 40, or 50 pips, for example, we have to acknowledge that the buyers could be here and then bring it right back up, okay? So this is what we're going to keep an eye on for London. It's moving rather nicely, you know, like it's not very choppy like over here. It's trending now, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, a new higher high, but got rejected right now with 30 seconds to go into the close. Okay, and then guys, if we are looking for like maybe a sell, it could just be a sell where it just kind of pulls back and it might come back up and then it could break again and close and keep going. Okay, so remember, when it's trending, it's strong. So if we look for sells, we're counter trading this strong move. Okay, so we have to be careful too. But I feel like we just hit the high of the day. It's overbought on the 5 minutes. It's got a sharp rejection right now. Here's the closing. This is where it could kind of consolidate now, right below that red zone, right above this yellow line. So I got to wait for maybe some volume to come back and consolidate in here before looking for a sell, because it's still bullish. But now I look at the size of that wick. That's a rather large wick. So this candle just opened ignited bullish and coming right back up. So will it fill that wick and create a new high? Will it close above here? Will it get rejected now and they push it right back down? This is what we got to watch for. I can add some EMAs on the chart for us as well. EMA 9 is this green line. We're above it. EMA 200 is in the green zone, and it just had the bullish crossover right when we started this call, just after 2 a.m. So there's the bullish crossover, there's the big move. That's what I mean, guys. If the sellers bring it back down into this green zone, there's your 200 EMA, there's your daily point of interest at 33.18. That might be a good area to consider pullback buys right in there if gold comes down to us, okay? So what I do is place an alert in there. Remember, I placed an alert at 3310. I'm going to place an alert right here at this yellow line at 3318. Because I don't know if it will come down during our session. This might be something later today, but it's worth noting, okay? And look at how bullish that candle is. It's filled up that wick and still going for a new higher high. Okay, so even though I was just saying RSI was at 81, now it's at 83, it's still overbought, but it's still driving. Just because it's overbought doesn't mean you automatically hit the sell button. It's good to acknowledge that maybe a sell should be imminent, but it's also very important to understand anything above 70, 80, 90, up to 100 is an area of strength where it gets strong up there. And then with strong momentum, you can continue to take pending orders out. Sellers, all these sellers over here, their stop losses are probably above this zone, so the market keeps coming up there to get those pending orders, okay? So we just got to continue to watch how things are developing. I say we watch this for about 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then what we'll do is we'll do DAX, the German exchange, and we'll bring both of these securities side by side right before 3 a.m. Eastern and watch both of them as we go into live London. Okay, so welcome, guys. Yeah, you see you've started with the new room. Do you guys see those, the 2x4s, the framing at the back? So I have to, when I was doing those, I got to measure and then cut, just like we do with candlesticks. Same thing. We measure the move, we cut it, we determine. So trading is just the same way as building a frame or a wall or anything. Any renovations you're doing in your house, you have to measure things. So you and I, we measure candlesticks, we measure the distance from one line to the next line, so we know how much exactly we can profit on a trade or where to place our stop loss and things like that. So trading is very similar to renovating your home. Bronson, you got to cut it. Yeah, when prices get too high, Bronson, we got to cut it. Yeah. It's a great track. OT Genesis featuring Young Dolph. Yeah, that's what we do here at SST. When prices get too high, we cut the candle. So right now gold is getting a little too high, so I'm waiting to cut it. So I'm waiting for this volume to close in the next 1 minute, and we're going to cut it right at 50%. Ingemar, welcome. Welcome. Ingemar, tell us all about DAX. I know you trade it often. Okay, so look at that. Look at that big rejection. So they took out the high up there. How high did it come up to? Let's look what they did. Look at where there was a little bit of resistance, like right over here, this little area. So I'm looking back right there. You see where it came up, back down, came up, back down. Volume started to close right there. We took that out. So that 3,330, they took it out and got rejected. So look at the volume. It's an inverted hammer candle. Will it come right back in this consolidated zone? Will we get a bearish leg coming through here? And remember, if there's a bearish leg, it could represent the first leg. So it could come down like this. You know, you could get 30 pips, 40 pips, but you also have to recognize that it could come right back up. And then if it comes up, sellers would be looking for that second top, double top, then come back down. Okay, so that was just... we still haven't came inside this consolidated area. That was a big rejection where volume closed again right into that red zone. So this is where I'd like to see if sellers can step in and start pushing this thing down. However, if it's still bullish, still gotta, like, I don't feel comfortable buying the high right now, where I could have bought down here, I could have bought down here, I could have bought these pullbacks, I could have bought right there, I could have bought like right there. So I feel like it's getting oversold, and I don't want to be that guy just buying the high. I'd like either to buy a pullback, or I might look for a possible sell coming down through here. Okay, so that's just my analysis. It's 240. I know if we get off of gold, we might miss like a leg coming down, but we can always catch the second leg, or we can maybe catch a pullback buy. But what I like to do is, because we have 20 more minutes, in 5 minutes, so we'll wait for this candle to close, I'm going to do our second security DAX. I'm going to go a little faster, and then we'll have both of these securities side by side as we get right into London in the next 15-20 minutes, okay? And then we do have our financial juice news right over here to the left. If anything develops, if anything is coming out of London, we will have the news right here. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. Appreciate it. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new to SST, and join this crazy community trading at all hours of the day. We've got BTC almost pushing 110,000. So BTC is only $2,000 away from the all-time high. We'll see if we can get some good weekly volume to this week on BTC. I'd like to see it push 120, 130,000. Really like push for a new all-time high, break through this range. I'd like to see that develop this week. Okay, still see how we're bullish. It's creating higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Is anyone in a gold buy right now? Anyone in a gold buy trailing this behind? Did anyone get in earlier? Like, has anyone been up since like midnight, 1 a.m. over here? James, what's going on? Dennis, you got it? Wow, nice, Dennis. Why didn't you let me know about it? 3306? Shit, Dennis. Oh, man. That's a big move, Dennis. You got like over 200 pips. Next time, let us know when you're gonna buy down there. US 30 was crazy tonight, James. Lots of news coming out, like regarding the tariffs and things like that. So maybe that'll carry into New York. Yeah, definitely paying attention to that as well. Okay, so we got 90 seconds to go, and then this 5-minute candle is going to close, but more importantly, it will be 2:45. So what you can do is you can look at your 15-minute bars and look at the 15-minute bars, how strong they are. So our 15-minute bars now are starting to get oversold, or sorry, overbought up here, above 70. Our 5 minutes are completely overbought up there, but still, I don't see like a bearish candle to confirm anything to come down yet. Still very strong. But right now this is the break of the daily high and rejected. So this 15-minute candle is going to close in 1 minute. We can watch the actual close right here. So we got a rejection, we've got a rejection, and another rejection. Okay, so we could be developing to see a bearish leg coming down. But it does take time. It does take time for it to build. That's why if you're speculating any sells, I would go really small, because it could just come down and go right back up. And then if that's the case, you can cut it real quick. You don't have to suffer a big loss. So anytime you're speculating, even if you're trying to buy, if you're looking to buy these highs up here, I wouldn't go with a huge buy. I would go small, feel it out, and then see how everything moves. If you're not in a trade like myself, then let's just continue waiting on the sidelines until we see something develop. Here's the close in 5 seconds. Looks like another big, nice, strong bullish bar, judging by the volume. The volume look at the volume closed above that red zone. So technically, what I got to do right now is make this red zone a demand zone, like bullish. Show it if the sellers come in, could still be buyers in here. Okay, so closed up here. Maybe it's going to consolidate now. Above here, right above that demand zone and in there, and we'll wait for it to come down. I'm going to do something quick, guys. I'm going to leave gold right here. We'll revisit it in 5 minutes, so I can get 2 charts done right before London, because we got 15 more minutes. Okay, so that's gold, still moving bullish. Here's DAX. So this is the German exchange. This is the one I want to do right now. So we can also watch the German exchange going into London. So starting off on the daily, I haven't analyzed this in weeks and months. I've been trading a lot of US 30 and NASDAQ as of late, but there was a zone right here. I can still see I don't have to trade this security every single day to notice that zone right there. At this point in time, this was a supply zone. It came in, back down, came in, back down. Retest it and push that right back down. So if I stretch that zone into the future, see when those bars start closing above, all you got to do is flip it red to green, and then you see it came right in there, and then we've been moving out since there. So stretch that zone into the future. If DAX ever comes back down at 23,300, I could be a buyer down there. There's another block right below us right here. That's where it held good support. This is where that bearish candle closed below. We pushed down, and then it came right back into it, closed above, and so that's your block below it. I can continue to do all this all day here with you guys, but it's irrelevant to start marking down here at 19,000 because we're all the way up here. I don't think it's going to drop 6,000 points today unless something dramatic happens in Europe that I'm not aware of. But now what I see is a resistance. This is the all-time high, 25,000 right there on DAX. So if we go from the all-time high wick and we bring it down to our recent bodies, that's the supply zone, our red box above us. Stretch it into the future. So I see it came in there right here, end of May, we got rejected back out. It came in there, that's what made that all-time high June 5th, and we've been rejected back down. Okay, now points of interest. Now let's see some points of interest. Where can we see a majority of bodies and a good location? Right here, I'll start a yellow line, and I'll explain why. So I see I cut this big bullish candle right here on May 19. I can see when it was resistant there, it was resistance there. When the volume turned above, closed above it, it turned to support, support, support. See, like this is a funny day here. This Friday, it closed right there. Look at the weekend gap up. On Monday, look where they gapped it up, right at that yellow line. And then we retested it, couple impulse breaks, but nothing really, no bears closed it below there. So you can still see how this, look at the number, 23,900. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter the security, it doesn't matter what it is. Psychology of the markets is what matters. So you can see, why did they gap that candle up right there? From Friday, when we closed right there at 23,597, 23,600 to be exact, look at where they gapped it up. It wasn't just by chance why it gapped up right at that yellow line. It's because that's where the markets want to move it to it's like a magnet where these areas are, okay? There's another zone now above that yellow line where maybe, like right here, see that wick, body to body, and then yesterday's close and today's open, like right here. That's what I'm looking at right there, that zone, okay? You can see it came up, rejected back down, came up, rejected back down, rejected again. There's where the candle closed. There's where it kind of opened right above it. That's where we closed yesterday, and this is kind of like our opening price today. So now what I do is I dissect from kind of yesterday's candle. So we opened Monday. It was bearish. It opened bearish, ignited. It pushed all the way down. There's yesterday's low, and that's where we closed. So looking at today, they kind of gapped it down. You can see it's not exactly right at the black candle where it closed right there, the yellow line. You can see it kind of, they gapped it down just a little bit. So regardless, what I can do is I can move this down to today's low and make it purple. That's our opening price right there. That's our lowest point of the day too. It's an inverted hammer on the daily right now. So we opened bullish. It came up very bullish. We came up all of yesterday's volume, but look at where it got rejected. It got rejected kind of right at 50% would have been right there, but that's that line above and that line below. So that's where we got rejected. That was our highest point of the day. They've rejected it. It looks like it's a lower high from yesterday and a lower high and a lower high from the red zone. So DAX, the sellers are pushing it down. We pushed it down, but we got an inverted hammer candle, which could definitely come right back up and fill the wick and break out further. Okay. If I'm judging yesterday's bearish candle from where we opened and bringing it down where we closed, there's my Fibonacci. There's the 0.5. So what I can also do is mark up the 0.5, which is 24,225. So it's those 25-point increments, 25, 50, 75, 100. Doesn't matter the security. It's an auction. They all work accordingly. They all work the same, okay? So you see when we came up, if we ever do come back up bullish, 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 I want to see what happens at that yellow line at 225. Will the sellers be there to push it back down, or will the buyers get above there and come to our high of the day and we break to this red zone? And then if we continue to go higher, we're going to trade up to those wicks inside the red zone. So you can take it just candle by candle, wick by wick as we fill up. But if the sellers now absorb our opening body, you can see it was kind of bullish ignited, this could flip into a shooting star and it could be really bearish. And all we got to do is then just flip, take out yesterday's low, and look how much momentum, look at where we could move down. DAX could really sell all the way down into here, okay? So we got to watch this. If we lose our open, it's an inverted hammer candle, okay? So on the hourly now, looking at the hourly, okay, this is how it's moving. A lot of choppy consolidation. Then the sellers broke it Monday, 3 a.m. That was London. So you can see, look at DAX, how it had, look at the range in London. We're going to get London in the next 9 minutes. So look at how it reacted yesterday in a London session. Okay, so it's rather volatile. We pushed all the way down yesterday, Monday, 7, 8 a.m. And then you can see kind of, this is when we have Wall Street market open. You can see how it turned back up, came into here and pushed back down. So this is a pivot point. It came right up there and it stopped right there on the hourly. So let's place a white line right there, 24,197, just below that 24,200. And see how it was resistance there? It came back down. We pushed today. Here's futures market open, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Here's 11. Here's midnight. Here's the big push down at 1 a.m. Came all the way down. That's what kind of tested that low of the day down there. And we got a big rejection coming back up. We just came up right now, 2 a.m. bullish. And look at where we are. We're still below 50% of this bearish candle. So you see the white line? See that wick, a wick, a wick? This is where you can kind of draw yourself a little bit of a zone right there, okay? And you still see how it's now, we're trading right into 50% of that bearish body. It got rejected and we're coming down. So this is where London could open up in the next 7 minutes and push all the way back down, fill this wick, or it could definitely come right back up, close above here, and we go bullish back up, okay? So this is our zone right now. This is our supply above us. We'll see if we can come down and see what we do here, okay? And on the 5 minutes, this is how we look on the 5 minutes. So you can see it had rather thin volume. Look at here how thin it was. 11:30 midnight, and like this would hurt my eyes looking at this. If I was up at this time, I'd go right back to sleep. Look at when it started opening up at 1:15, 1:20, okay? Bottomed out at 1:30. Now we're starting to, we came right back up and now it's pushing down. So we'll watch and see if 5 minute volume can close above here. Maybe we look for buys back up to the daily high. Or we could look to sell back down to the lowest point of the day, okay? So this is DAX right now. Again, I can add a 9 EMA. I can add the 200 EMA. So the 9 and the 200 are right there, right at that red zone. We can add our daily bar indicator. That's that inverted hammer candle I was talking about on the daily. So let's bring these two together like this. And we'll watch them. Also, I'll add the daily bar on gold. Okay, look at gold. Daily bar is a bullish pin bar. Okay, so you still see how it came up. Tweezer top highs pushing down. We'll see in London. Is London where they're going to sell that leg coming down? Or is it going to kind of fake to the high, then drop? So let's be ready. I'm actually excited for London. Are you guys excited for London? This is worthwhile not getting any sleep for. So I hate when it's choppy. Then I'm like, oh damn, why am I even trading this? I could be sleeping. So hopefully we get some good volume. And looking at the time, it's 2:55 a.m. Eastern. This is our 5 minute candle that just opened. So this candle will take us right into London. Okay, so if you're going to trade right at London market open, make sure you check your spreads, you check your contract sizing, your lot sizing, whether you're trading the futures, you're trading Forex, whatever you're trading. Make sure you don't make any silly mistakes. This is the time you want to make sure you do not make any mistakes. Okay, and everyone on YouTube, we have over 100 viewers. I know there's not a lot of traders at this time. London session, we haven't done this, so maybe they weren't aware that we were going to do this session. But if you guys can leave us a like, we do appreciate it. It does help grow the channel. And let's see what happens here, guys. Okay, so we got a nice bearish candle pushing down. Will it actually close below here? Will it close below the 9 EMA, that green line? Will it close below that daily point of interest, 3325? Okay. And then we see DAX making its way back up. Okay. We'll stick with these two securities till about 3:30. And then if you guys want, we can look at a third security. I don't care what we look at. I said we can do anything. If you want to look at like currency, if you guys want to look at the pound or the euro during this time, if you guys want to look at NASDAQ or US 30, if you guys want to look at crude oil, whatever you guys want, you guys let me know. But for now, let's just focus on these two. I think it's more than enough right now. We've got gold and the German exchange. So we've got 3 more minutes to go in London. So just heads up on the renovations, guys, what I'm doing. I've framed the wall. We got that all framed. I got to do a little bit more electrical work. I got my buddy who's a licensed electrician coming over at 8 in the morning. So right after this session, I got to sleep for about 2.5 hours. And then he's going to help me move. We gotta fish some wire over here so we can put some outlets and some switches in here for the lights. And then I got to put some insulation, soundproof insulation in here, and then we got to put the drywall up. So that's all happening. I enjoy renovations. If you guys need any renovations done at your house, you guys let me know. Patrick, he's licensed. Yep, he is licensed. No, with electrical, anything like that, we do take that serious. Oh, Dennis, I'm also putting a ventilator in here, a high powerful, like very quiet venting system. So at 3 in the morning, Dennis, if I'm having a cigar or smoking something else, it will go right in the ventilator, and it will be taken outside of the house. So it's going to go right direct exchange right outside the house. So it's going to be pretty good in here, guys. My wife doesn't know about that. So she doesn't need to know about that. That's between us, guys. Okay. Don't get me in trouble. Don't let the wife know about that ventilator, what I was talking about. She doesn't need to know about that. That's between us. Okay, so here we go. 1 minute away, and we've got live London. So it's got high volume. It's just like kind of Wall Street market open. It's just like COMEX market open. This is the European, the UK market open. So we gotta watch what happens. There's a lot of fake outs that happen. There's liquidity grabs. There's volatility. There's range. There's all sorts of things. Sometimes London opens are very good to trade. Sometimes they're duds and they suck. So that's with like any other session. All we can do is just either take it candle by candle, and just don't over risk. Don't over leverage, guys. That's it. That's what trading is. Just don't over risk. Okay. Here we go. So, and DAX is pushing down. Okay. Remember, that's the lowest point of the day. Is it coming back down? Will it be a double bottom, come back up, or will it actually start selling down? Okay. So here we go. Live London, guys. So I'm going to assume it closed below that green zone. I'm going to flip it red real quick. Okay. So you see how it opened ignited bullish right at our yellow point of interest, and it's coming back up. So let's see if it will retest our red zone. Will it get rejected? And if it does, this could be a quick sell coming down, or will it come back up and close above here and continue to move up? So it looks like it came up, it pushed back down. Here's kind of the neckline. Will it come back up? Let's take a look here. And then we've got DAX over here kind of consolidating. PG, you're already in a sell on gold? Yep. I'm just waiting, but I understand that you're looking for the sell there. Kind of got to just lose this big bullish open. That's that ignited open. So you see how it's coming up now. Now we're retesting the red zone on gold. Okay, this is where I'd like to see sellers reject the buyers here. I'll kind of make it a little bit bigger so we can watch right here. Okay, so you see it's a big ignited bullish candle. It's very difficult to sell that candle right now. Just watching how it opened. It opened very strong. So this could come all the way back up and engulf that and continue driving bullish. So that's why I'm just being cautious right here. It's just the first 90 seconds of London market open. We still have a lot of time to go here. Okay, and DAX is moving bearish back down to the low of the day, that purple line. Will it break the low of the day? Will it hold at the low of the day? Will it reverse back up? Gold, bullish, engulfing, ignited candle. Okay, very strong right now. But we'll wait for it to close. Well, I'm going to wait for it to close. So that's the problem, you know. Sometimes if you hit a sell, you get in a little early, which was, it looked like it was selling, but then you have London that opens up and then it kind of switches the momentum. So that's why you got to be very careful, okay? Okay, look at that big rejection now. So remember how bullish that candle was? Now it's the second half. Look at, they flipped it. This could turn into a shooting star and get ready to sell this, guys. Look at the big rejection up there, okay? Now, there it is. It could turn into a shooting star, okay? So just watch. It's still holding its ignited open. Get ready. I might look to sell this myself. So it's still got that ignited open. Look at DAX right off that low of the day. They took out the low of the day, that purple line. Look at the big rejection on DAX. Okay, so things are really developing in London here. Okay, so it's still holding that ignited open on gold. It's still got that. It's an inverted hammer candle. So I'm waiting for this thing to flip bearish to turn into a shooting star. Okay, again, it's coming down. They're absorbing all those buyers. Okay, get ready, guys. This could be like a quick selling opportunity. As soon as it breaks here, we've got 1 minute. Maybe we wait it out for this minute. Like if we go in early, it could open blue and come back up. So right now, we have to make up our mind. Do we want to sell it? I made up my mind. I'm gonna wait for this 1 minute. I was looking to sell it, but now I see that there's only 60 seconds. I don't want to get in right now. So I see now the last minute, look, the buyers are bringing it right back up. So it's not ready yet. We got to wait for it. Okay. So DAX took out that low of the day. It kind of snapped back right back up, but then the sellers are there pushing it right back down. So this is the first 5 minutes of London. We're getting some volatility. 30 seconds to go into the close on gold and DAX over here. So it's not bad so far. Not bad. We're coming right back down. Here's the close. Get ready. This could be like a 3-bar play where it closes like an inverted hammer and opens bearish, ignited, and just breaks and starts dropping. So get ready. And then when I'm looking to maybe place a stop loss if I go on sells, it'll be above these two tweezer top highs up there. If I do decide to take a trade, a sell. Okay, so it did close with some blue volume. We're closed below that red zone. So let's see if the sellers can step in and push this down. Again, this candle opened bullish ignited. Let's see if it holds. Okay, it's still inside here. So you see where it's back consolidating, right back in here now. Okay, and if it holds, it could continue for that next bullish leg. Okay, so it's still strong. See what I mean? Why we didn't take a sell? We waited for it to close. Still showing bullish momentum. But now we're getting a little context. We're getting where it came up there. There's the tweezer top highs, the highest point. It came back down. Here's our neckline right here. Starting of London market open. Now it's coming back up. Will it come up like a lower high? Will it be a double top? Will it come back down like this? And then get that bigger sell opportunity there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I see it came back into the red box. Now they're rejecting it back down. Okay, so get ready. It could start to break and start pushing down. And this candle has a lot of time left on it, 3.5 minutes to go. So let's see if it can, the sellers can push this thing down. It's been a while since I've done London, guys. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty on London market open. All I need is a couple sessions and I can get right back in the rhythm. Like how Stella got her groove back, I can be how Ronny got his groove back. I just need a couple sessions here. Normally I'm sleeping at this time. And now I'm drinking a coffee at this time. Okay, see it, still see it's nice and bullish, coming right back up. Okay, and DAX is still kind of consolidating. I'm watching DAX, how it's going to react like here. The lowest point of the day is that purple line, and then if you make that zone like a green zone, I can see it came in, back up. There's the neckline. It broke right there. That was that break along the market open. I want to see if it will curl back up. We could look. This could be representing like a second bottom right here on DAX. However, it could also close below there. And we flip this daily candle and we're selling further down. Oh, there's a SST sell signal. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so we got the bot telling us look for a sell for gold at 3325. Okay, so this is our AI bot that gave us that signal. So 3325 it's right here. Okay, exactly where Patrick I'm looking to sell, right below there, right there. That's our opening point of today's candle, right? That's a point of interest, but we still have this bullish volume. So that's why I'm waiting to see, Patrick, if it can get rejected like a second top and come back down. But that's the exact location I'm looking to sell myself. If it gets there, but I'm not going to force the trade, right? Because I still see it's coming right back up bullish. Like this could close up here, Patrick, and we continue to fill these two tweezer top high wicks. And this thing could still be very bullish. We could, the daily candle could turn into a hammer and continue driving, okay? US DXY right now, it's pumping, okay? So you see how it's not correlated right now? Like if I show you DXY right now, look at the holy shit. Look at the 5-minute candle on US dollar right now. Okay, you know when we say if US dollar is strong, gold should be selling. No, right now, US dollar and gold is strong at the same time. Okay, see how the US dollar DXY is strong, and look at gold still strong. Okay, so we have to be careful. They're not always correlated. Look at DAX. Okay, so it flipped its daily candle. We're at the lowest point of the day. Let's see if it will close below here. If it does, flip this green zone. Okay, it did close below, so I'm flipping that green zone red. Gold closed above the red zone, so I gotta momentarily flip it green. Okay, and then now if we kind of get rejected here, DAX could continue selling down to this yellow line point of interest. Okay, so if I'm measuring the move down, like from there to there, it's about 30 pips to come down there. Okay, so now it's retesting. We'll see if it can retesting here and drop. Okay, so you see the retest now? DAX is coming right in there. It might even close above here, and this could be like a fake out, and then we look for buys on that next leg back up. And maybe gold is ready to start pushing down, okay? But I want to see the sellers close it back below into here, okay? Hey guys, this is a pretty good London session. I'm being honest. Like, I used to do these London sessions and they were really choppy and sideways, but at least we got some movements, which is nice. I like to see some movements in the markets. Whether we're in a trade or not, I still like to see some movements. It's encouraging for London sessions. It's encouraging for me to, I don't mind these sessions, to tell you the truth. But it's worthwhile when there's good trading volume. It sucks when you're not getting any sleep and then you come in here and then you're just watching paint dry. You're just watching candles trade sideways. So it's good, guys. You guys trade London more than me. You guys let me know, how has it been trading the last few months? You got London market open like right now, 3 a.m. Do you guys find it's moving pretty good lately, or choppy, or it's actually moving pretty good? Okay, so keep an eye on DAX. Remember, it was a nice big bullish candle coming back above there. Lower high, they rejected it back down. We'll see where will it close in the next 2.5 minutes. Will it close inside here, above here, or directly below here? Okay, so DAX coming back up, nice big bullish candle. Let's see if it can close again above this zone. If it does, we flip it green. Then I see they took out the low of the day. Maybe they build and it comes back up. Could be looking, entertaining maybe a buy on DAX. Just going to get rid of this 618 line on the SST daily bar indicator. I don't want it to confuse you guys. I just want to just take it off for now. Okay. Got a nice big bullish bar. Closing in 1 minute. And gold is still strong up here. So this is, remember those two tweezer top highs right there at 235 and 245. So we have those tweezer top highs on gold up there. We're back in this upper consolidated zone up here. So we'll see if it comes down. Again, I'm watching the close on DAX. It came back up. They rejected it back down. And also let's watch and see if gold can close back below here. That could be the start of that leg selling down. And look at how the volume is fading out up here. Okay, we got these thin little dojis. So it could be telling me that the buyers are getting tired up here. I don't see like a big bullish candle anymore. So could indicate that the buyers are getting exhausted. Sellers could come in now. They've absorbed enough and maybe they're going to redistribute it to the downside. Here we go. So we did still close inside that zone. Now it moved up bullish. It opened, ignited. I like to see a quick rejection. A quick, like right now, like reject this bar quickly and flip it. Otherwise, we're allowing this bar to continue to build. And it opened, it's showing me a bullish ignited open. So the longer it sits there, the more that the buyers can sit and ask to trade up here. So that's why I want to say a quick rejection, like right now. Start bringing it down bearish to break here and have like an impulse push down. Here we go. Okay. And if it breaks here, I'm gonna potentially look to sell. Okay, I'm gonna go into sell on gold. I like what I see. I've given it enough time. Okay, so I'm going into sell. I'm just gonna place my stop loss above those tweezer top highs. So I'm just gonna give my stop loss. Maybe I want to give it room to breathe. I'm gonna look at, okay, so you see there's the previous neckline. I can see right there. So I want my stop loss to be above that neckline. I'm gonna give it more because it's London market open. Giving it more room to breathe so that we can fall into this green zone, maybe to that 200 EMA, maybe down to that yellow line. So I'm in a sell on gold, guys. And I want to see if this thing can break down, you know, if we can get some bear volume closing below this yellow line, then if it comes back up, we can flip this green box red. Maybe this will be supply going forward, and then maybe we can push down with this. So I'm going to sell on gold. And it looks like a second top, like an M pattern where it came up. There's our neckline, the yellow line came back up. That's why I sold the second top coming down. I described that candle. I waited, and then I want to break this, and then we drop down, maybe take that low wick out, and then we watch. I have to be very safe here at the top of the green box at 3320 because it could just come down there and bounce back up. But regardless, I'm in a sell. Let's see if it plays out. We can get our measuring tape out now, start measuring. Okay, so down to that yellow line is 18 pips. We're looking for more than that. We're looking to maybe fill down somewhere down here. That would be about 50 pips right there. Okay, so let's see. My stop loss, I've given it more room to breathe up here. Okay, because I want to see if this thing can actually play out. So this will be really critical. If the sellers can close it below this yellow line, that's the structure we need to break right there. We got to also create a new lower low. We got to see like an impulse break coming down there. But if we can really close with volume down there. Okay, so I'm in a sell right now. I still see DAX is still consolidating right here. And 90 more seconds to go into the close. Okay, so this daily yellow line is very strong, 3,325. But let's see if we can break for a new low and then follow with some volume coming down with it. Less than 1 minute to go, and we're 10 minutes away from 3:30. Okay, so we're gonna get a new 30-minute candle coming up in 10 minutes. It's set up perfectly for like an M pattern to push down, but this is the big neckline we're trying to break. So here we come down, last 30 seconds. We'll show who has momentum going into the close. So let's see here. And then we also have an SST scalper sell right at that yellow line at 3325. I'm in a little earlier, but if you're waiting for confirmations, wait for body to close. Okay, so here's the close, 5 seconds. And if it closes below here, which it did, I'm gonna just change the green to red zone. Okay, so if we do come back up, maybe we got some resistance there. We could also identify 50% of that bearish candle. Like half of it is like right there at 3326, 3327. So if we do, which we are, we're coming back up, maybe we'll get rejected at 50%. And then try and break this, okay? So you still see how the buyers are protecting this yellow line. That's that daily point of interest. So we really need sellers to break this. Just create that new low so that we can shift the entire depth of market. We do have this kind of descending trend line right here. So there we go. We opened, it retested, we got the rejection. Here's the push. So this is a new lower low that's being created. But sometimes when you break, it gets a wick and comes back up. Okay, so if we just broke, that's what we need to continue pushing down. We need lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. So that candle gave us that new lower low. We just impulsively broke below that yellow line. But if we can follow up with this bearish volume closing below the yellow line will act as resistance going forward, okay? So we got a nice couple bar, oh, and DAX closed above this, so make that green. Okay, because we can use this as support going back up. But I'm just watching gold here. I want to watch, because we're at this very critical area, 3325. Okay, so 3 more minutes to go. Okay, and that's a not bad push, guys. Okay, so if you're just kind of, that's 25 pips to where we're at, 25. Okay, so some guys, scalpers, look for 25 pips with zero drawdown. That's 25 pips. Okay, but I'm looking for a little more. I'm looking to see if this volume will close below and we can get a further push, maybe to that 50 pips, what I had right there, filling this big wick right over here. Okay, but you know, this could just be a break and then buyers come back up and close it back above here. And we could, again, start another leg coming back up. But we're still below 50% of that previous bearish candle. We still have this descending trend line. This is the second top. We just broke the neckline. So we got to follow with the volume now, okay? We got 2 more minutes to go. We can check the 15-minute candle. Okay, look at the 15 minutes, how they're barcoding. It was bullish, bearish. Bullish, bearish. We're part of this bearish leg coming down. So this looks like an M top in itself. It came up, back down, came up, back down. So if we can get 15-minute volume closing below this yellow line, we could further push down, okay? But it's barcoding, okay? 30 minutes. This is what it looks. We're getting a new 30-minute candle in the next 6 minutes. We have that big rejection right there at 230. London market came up, rejected. So if we can get that very volume, we have a lot of distance to come down, okay? So everything looks good on 30, 15, the 5 for selling. So I'm going to continue to hold this sell and look for about 50 pips or more on this. Okay, so we got a nice candle. Remember, it came down, it created a wick, it came back up, but now again we're absorbing those buyers and we're coming right back down. Okay, so this is, like I said, just measuring. Oops, don't move this thing. Right there. So that was about 30 pips coming down there, 30, okay? We're at 30 pips now. If you kind of want to reduce your stop loss down a little bit and reduce your risk, you're more than welcome to do that, okay? I haven't taken my stop loss down yet. I'm just waiting for this bar to close. Samuel, you're in stop loss at break even? Fantastic. You know, let's see if we can continue running with this, but you got no risk involved. So that's good. Okay, and 20 seconds to go. Remember, the last 30 seconds shows the momentum. Sellers are have control. What I'm looking for is, I want to make this yellow line like a red box there. That's what I want to do. I want to make this zone like a red box. I'm doing it kind of ahead of time, but I want to close below there, and I want to use this as resistance going forward. I don't want it to come all the way back up to this red zone. I want to use this one. Okay, so it did close below. We got an ignited bearish bar. It could break this wick and just drop. We got an ignited open. Okay, it tried to break. Oh, those tweezer top bottoms, but it came right back up. They came back down. But you see how they're holding that 3324.11 tweezer bottom lows. So now we might come back and retest this now. Remember the yellow line? That 3325 was support, support, support. We just closed below it. Now it could act as resistance. So we're coming down. Now all we need is just that break, and we can start filling this wick to about 40 to 50 pips. That would be a good time to bring your stop loss down to break even while you're up 30, 40, 50 pips, and then maybe scale out a little bit. Because you guys got to also remember, we are counter trading this bullish move, right? So we're going against the current trend. But we waited patiently for a second top. We waited for London market. So we could come down, but it could come right back up. So let's see here. And we're going into 3:30, a new 30-minute candle in less than 4 minutes. So this is what I'm part of. I'm part of this bearish shooting star, this 30-minute candle that's going to close in 3.5 minutes. So I really want to see it push down. And then if I look at 50% of that big bullish candle, that last 30, so I grab my Fibonacci tool, the opening price right here at 130, bring it all the way back up. There's 50% right there. So I'm going to draw a white line kind of right at that 50, because that would be telling me that that's half of the previous 30-minute candle. So if it drops all the way down there, that's that like kind of 50, 60 pip move down there. And then I have to respect, there's that white line. So that's that 30-minute candle I just showed you. Okay, so we'll see if we can continue to come down there. And then that would be kind of like a total of close to 60 pips down there. Okay, and this could come all the way right back up to my entry point. If this zone can absorb these buyers, it might come all the way back up. Okay. We got a doji candle that broke, it came back up, still pushing. All we need is some sellers just to redistribute a lot of the sell side volume just down to there. And then that will make our London session worthwhile. We're below the 9 EMA. That's good for selling. You know, we can use our EMA 9 as a resistance point. 2 more minutes to go, okay? So let's watch this, because this is closing out our 30-minute candle. Mike, welcome. Good morning. You just finished work? Welcome. We're just going to work right now. We just clocked in. We're starting our shift right here. We're doing London shift. Graveyard shift is what I call it. This is the graveyard shift. We're working nights. Okay, so 90 seconds to go on the close. We still have this doji candle. As long as we can stay below this red zone and below 3325, this daily point of interest, then maybe starting, we might get some 30-minute momentum that continues to push this thing down. But it's all going to go into the close. See, the buyers are stepping in right now. But let's see. Okay, so I'm going to stretch that zone into the future. Hopefully we can stay below this. Mike, you're waiting for the New York shift? Yep. We're all doing shift work here. Okay, so 60 seconds to go. See, it's bullish return coming back up, retesting our red zone. Okay, so it looks bullish engulfing. Okay, that's the opposite of what I wanted to happen, but that's the way how price action works, guys. So, you know, if this zone doesn't hold, I got to see if this upper zone will hold up here. Okay. So you see now the buyers are coming in right at the end of our 30-minute candle. You remember how nice and bearish this was? It was a bear shooting star. Now we have our buyers stepping in when the last minute. Like, I know it's demoralizing, but this happens. So it's coming right back up, okay, to my entry point. So I'm basically at like a break even now. I never took out anything. I never reduced my stop loss. So now it's coming right back up. Okay, going into, doesn't surprise me, a new 30-minute candle. This is the momentum, how it switches. Okay, so it closed back above kind of that trend line. We open ignited now, so now it's coming into drawdown territory. That could be, that's it, that was the pullback, and now it wants to continue its bullish leg going back up. Okay, so it sucks we didn't get that close the last 30 seconds to push down, and now it turns into back into its bullish leg going back up. Okay, but now I gotta kind of watch my stop loss area up here to see if the sellers will step back in and push it back down. If it closes back above here, then it could start that bullish leg coming back up. Okay, but gotta watch it now. It's just the first 1 minute of 3:30, so I've got to kind of stick with this and watch how it develops. Okay. And my stop is all the way up here. Okay, I put it above these tweezer top highs, and then I looked to the left at this area of structure right over here. So my stop is kind of above there. Okay. No, I wouldn't sell now. I would wait. I would wait to see if sellers are still here. If it comes back and closes back below here, it might get that next push down. I wouldn't sell right now. I was in previous. I'm in drawdown right now. I took the sell over here. That bullish candle sucked right at the end. Everything was working really well. We closed below. We kind of had that little doji candle hanging out there, but no sellers present to hit the bid down into here. So buyers stepped right back in right at the close of that 30-minute bar, and they got the momentum now. Ovidius, if I buy indicators, is it just showing on the chart or sending me notifications? No, the SST indicator is this right here. Exactly what you see right over here. Oh shit, where is it? Right here. This is how you get it. Sell gold at 3/3/25 at 3 a.m. That's what came out. But this is the bot. Okay, that's the bot. No, it's all good, Emirates. You took a buy. It's all good. Yeah, no, I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar selling there. I thought it would break down. It was a perfect setup to break down. It flipped on me in the last 30 seconds going into that. It's happened to me a million times, Emirates. It's that 30-minute, that hourly momentum switch. It was perfectly lined up to break down. It dropped for 30, 40 pips. You know, I didn't dip out of the market, and then right away it came right back up bullish. But my stop is up there, guys. Looks like we're testing this area up here. You know, it could definitely come back down, but it's very bullish right now. If this body closes above, this zone turns green, and then looks like this is going to be a loss. ABB play, you got out. You closed your trade before it went bullish. Hey, that's fine. You know, that was my fault. I should have, you know, when it started coming down there, I should have been at a break even. So this trade would have been a break even instead of getting stopped out. You know, it happens, guys. But this is my first London session in months. So I just got to get used to how the volume is moving. But my entry, I'd take this trade any day of the week. Any day of the week. It's got that double top. It broke, it closed below, it was overbought. It's just, I'm used to these 30-minute switch ups. As a scalper, I'm always in trades prior to a new 30-minute candle, prior to a new 1 hour candle, and then it's got the right direction, but then the market just shifts momentum. It's known for this, okay? It's not my first time. Okay, so that was a big bullish candle. Closing above there is bullish, right up here. So that's my stop loss right up there. I'll verbally let you guys know when I get stopped out. I'm still in this. I'm holding in drawdown. But even if the sellers step in and push this thing down, you still got to go against 50% of that big bullish bar at 3329. But this is what I find a lot of traders do when they were in that sell there, they were in profit, and it comes back up, the stop loss is up here, and then they see this, then they add another sell. That's not what you want to be doing, okay? So if you're in drawdown on one trade, you don't just add another sell, because it could just come down, pull back here, and continue go up, and then you're in 2 trades in drawdown. And in order to take another sell, I would have to see the sellers come all the way back down in here and close it back below there to justify taking another sell. Okay, then I'm right back selling where my original position was. But to sell up here, I wouldn't advise that. Especially when you're, like I'm saying, when you're in a drawdown, when you're in a trade in drawdown right now, like me. I'm in a trade in drawdown. I know I could sell higher up here. But what happens if it just pulls back down into here and then continues going back up? Then I'm stuck in two trades, and I don't want to be doing that. Emirates, did you ever mess around with the EMAs 8, 21, and 50? Yeah, I've done them. Like I did more 9, 21, 50, but I'm not much of indicators. Like, you know, when I took that sell there, the volume closed below that 9 EMA and just dropped a little bit. But I don't really use indicators, Emirates. I'll be honest with you. I like just trading price action. But that's a good combo. 8 or 9, 21, 50, perfect. You got the 8 and 9 are nice for quick scalps. 21 is a nice in between, and then your 50 is more of a higher time frame. It's all good. But I just don't use too much indicators, I got to be honest with you. Okay, so you see how that bearish candle got rejected in that red zone, coming down exactly right there, 50%. That's where we're getting a wick. Will the sellers bring it all the way back down into here? Will the buyers bring it back up? So I'm in drawdown. I realize that, but maybe the sellers will bring it back down. Let's take a look here. Man, that new 30-minute candle kind of destroyed the momentum. It was coming down perfectly. It was a nice shooting star. And in the last 30 seconds, that entire candle changed. Ugh. Okay, so that's that flip. That's what I don't like. See how it came down 50%? It was a nice bearish candle coming down. They flipped it back up. So this is continuing to be bullish maybe, and then come right back up to 3,333. But then that's my final stop, and then I will be exiting out of this trade. And DAX is kind of building here at the low of the day. We're watching it come down. That was London market open, came back up, came back down. If it's still building here, let's see if it will build its way back up above here. However, it could continue to move down bearish right through here. Okay, so we kind of closed. We got a bearish pin bar spin top style candle. We're still below this red zone up here. Can the seller step in and bring this move back down? I kind of got to get it below 50% of that bullish candle. The only way I'll add another sell, guys, is if it kind of closes below here. Now we're getting that big push down. Look, I'm right back to break even now, okay? But the action will happen below this green box, okay? So it just as fast as you can go down, it can go back up, it can come back down. This is volatility now, but I'd like to see if the sellers can close it back below this zone. And that could solidify it. That could be our next big bearish leg coming in the market. They just had to go up a little bit higher, collect some pending orders, take out some stops. You know, that's why I positioned my stop loss a little higher. I put it above here for a specific reason. I looked back over here when gold was trading at Monday, right over here where it was support, support, support. That's where I placed my stop above there. So now I got the move coming right back down, testing down in here. So it's not bad. Sellers are still there, but they got to really close with conviction. Got to really close it with authority below here and then make a statement candle coming right through here. Okay, so this is interesting, guys. It's a good tug of war between the buyers and sellers of gold. Typical trading. As long as you're not over leveraged, nothing to panic about. Anyone can take control. Buyers can take control. They are in control still. So it is respecting this green zone. It could come right back up, okay? But if the sellers can really close it below here, that could start that next powerful leg coming down through here. So we got to wait 2.5 more minutes to go. So you remember how this candle opened. It opened right here. It was bullish, came in there, rejected, rejected, rejected. Then that big powerful volume came down with selling volume. And we'll see if we can close back near there, okay? And the DAX is still breaking down, okay? So no bullish volume closed above here, still bearish. Okay, let's see if gold can come down now with less than 2 minutes, okay? And then this is another thing, guys, when you're trading, like there 40 pips of profit, I didn't do anything. Then I went into drawdown, 40, 50 pips of drawdown. And now I'm right back to kind of almost break even. Sometimes when you're trading, if you go through those kind of swings where you're in profit, you're in drawdown, you're back to break even, if you want to refocus and reanalyze the trade, you can close it right there at a break even, you know, and reanalyze. But I'm still staying with this. I still think it can move down bearish. So I'm going to continue to hold this thing out. But when you guys are trading, if you get into a trade, you're going to either start off in drawdown, goes in profit, comes back, and you've had enough of the trade. Maybe you've been watching it for an hour, 90 minutes, and it really hasn't moved. You've been in drawdown, profit, and then you're back to break even. Sometimes just closing that trade, walking away from the markets. You didn't win, you didn't lose, but you can refocus and come back at a later time. That's okay to do as a trader. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to hold a trade either to your stop loss or to take profit. You can judge how it's trading and decide, okay? Here's the last 30 seconds. So we came back down to the green zone. It's green for a reason. There's buyers there. And the buyers are showing us they're there. They're coming right back on the wick. So it's going to determine how this candle closes, where it closes, and right now, the last 24 seconds, okay? So number one thing I'm looking for is I don't expect this candle to close all the way below the green box. I wanted to see if it can close just below 50% of that bullish candle. Then we can slowly start working our way down. But we got to close with bearish volume below 50% there. Otherwise, buyers will continue to bring this thing back up. So here's the close. And then I want to, if it closes below here, I want to use this red line as resistance. So we did technically close below 50% right there. Now, the red line is resistance. If we do come back up, I want to see it rejected there. We opened the candle, ignited bearish. So you see how it's bearish, filling the prior wick, but it's struggling at this green box. That's where the support is. So we got to really push down, get it back down in here, and see if we can close down in here. See how it's still holding support? Now you see, oh shit. So this zone is still holding strong. Now it's going to probably take out those wicks, and then that's my final stop loss. See, I'm trying to stay with this trade as much as possible, but there's so much strength right here, okay? But as it comes up to that red, they rejected it back down. So this is a tug of war, tough one, between the buyers and sellers. Someone is going to win. It's just a matter of time. It's just whoever wants to redistribute the volume, because we've got buyers buying and we do have sellers selling. Okay, it's just a matter of time when the redistribution happens. I'm hoping it's going to be in my lifetime. I am hoping that the sellers can push it down here during this call so I can get some sleep. And we're also watching DAX, guys. So it just hit that daily point of interest right there. So, you know, if you were selling, you could have sold right into that yellow line and did something. That's a good rejection. Okay, looking at the rejection, red box, rejection, rejection, lower high, lower high, lower high, pushing down. Can we turn this into a bearish pin bar candle? And again, get it below this green zone. Holy shit, it's a tough, tough green zone here. Look at DAX, how it's bouncing off of that daily point of interest right there. Okay, so candle again was open bearish, came back up bullish, went down back bearish, coming right here. So again, I look at the volume relative to this red line, okay, because that's what I'm figuring it's still resistance. We still got the volume below there. We got 2 more minutes to go. Can the sellers start hitting the bid down into here and then close back below there? Maybe we could get that next redistribution of volume, and then we get back into the profits here. So let's take a look. It's all going to come down to the close and breaking this critical support area. You guys see it as I am too. It's holding very strong here. Okay, but if we can get momentum back below there, then the sellers could really step in and redistribute this down. Okay, so we got a nice bearish pin bar. Maybe it will turn into a shooting star in the last 1 minute and then push down heavier. The excitement. We need some popcorn. We need some popcorn for this. Maybe I should call and wake up Dave at 4 in the morning to hit some sells in the market. I should wake up Dave. That would be funny. Calling him at 4 a.m. live. Hey Dave, wake up, buddy. start hitting the sell button. There was an SST signal. Start hitting the sell. You know how pissed off he would be? That would be actually really funny. Someone do it. Dennis, you do it. Let's all call Dave's phone. Tell him to sell gold. Okay, look at where we closed. Damn, like the market is just playing games with us. Like, look at where it closed. They closed right back again at that red line. They opened it, ignited right at that red line. Okay, so it's now got the momentum to continue to come back up and play this game again. So the sellers are just, they're not strong right now. They're not. Okay, they're really weak actually, if you ask me. Okay, and it sucks for me because I'm in a sell. Every time it comes down, they're just not there. They can't close it out with any conviction. So again, the buyers closed it right there at that red line. It opened ignited bullish. So the buyers are in control, bringing it right back up. Okay, so again, we're going to test this red zone. If the red zone doesn't hold, that's as much as I'm going to give the sellers. That's it. And then that's my stop loss. Then I'll get stopped out of this trade. So, you know, the sellers are here, but they're just not strong. They got to really push this thing and close it below here so that we can really test that and break. But they're failing, you know, they're failing. They're pushing it down, but they're failing to close it strong. They pushed it down there, but they failed to close it, okay? I'll verbally let you guys know when I get stopped out of here. Amrit, have a good day, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so we got rejected. That's as a seller. Okay, it's nice to see rejections. But as a seller too, I want to see a strong close. I don't want to just see rejections. I want to see a strong close. And that's what they're lacking right now. Maybe they'll show up at 4 a.m. and that's in the next 6 minutes. Maybe we'll get that pushed down. But however, in the next 6 minutes, the buyers could come up here, stop me out, and then they start to move. But that's my final stop loss up there. I've been hanging on this trade for a while now, but I'd like to see sellers step in anytime soon. Would be nice. Hopefully right before 4 a.m. And then you see where we got stuck? We got screwed. We were in that cell right there, right at, and then 3:30, the 30-minute candle came up right through there. That's what changed the momentum. Hopefully now, if they can close it strong going into 4 a.m., maybe we'll get that 4 a.m. momentum pushing down with this, and then we could go right back into profit, okay? So this is going to be, again, it's a nice shooting star candle coming down with 1 minute to go. Can they close it with conviction? I don't want to just see a higher low, and a higher low, and still respecting this green box. Because then 4 a.m., guess what? It's going to just move right back up bullish and test these highs and then maybe my stop up there. So last 40 seconds, can they close it out strong? And then we have 5 more minutes to go into 4 a.m. Does Trump speak affect the market? Yeah, absolutely. If Trump farts, it affects the markets. Anytime Trump opens his mouth, it affects the markets. So yeah, you gotta be very careful when Trump is opening his mouth. Okay, we got a nice bearish shooting star candle, but it's how it closes again. Okay, but you still see the red line. Okay, so we got volume below that red line. Okay, so I'm still using this as resistance going forward. Again, the candle opens ignited bullish. So the buyers are strong. They're strong on every single one of these bars. They're strong. They got strong open. They got they're holding the higher low support. So sellers are just they can't close it with conviction. You know, maybe at 4 a.m. we'll get that hourly move coming down. Let's see if we have any news at 4 a.m. that could affect gold. We've got Italian industrial production. I don't think that's really going to affect gold, to tell you the truth. No, I don't see anything going on today. Okay, so if this bar can come down bearish and close back below 3,327, we could get maybe a new hourly bearish leg coming into the market. That would be perfect in a sell situation. So what I can do is take a look at the hourly candle as well right now, since we're going to get a new hourly candle. Okay, so this is what we got going on. It's this strong. Okay, so overall, looking at the hourly, we got this big push down. We rebounded. There's the neckline on the hourly. We pushed down again. We came up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So this is where kind of I sold prior, that 1 hour, that push down. And if we can get that volume closing below here, we could get that hourly push down coming back down. Okay, so that's why it's so critical, this 3,327 area. Really, really critical. Like, this could dictate how gold moves today. Yeah, if it can just close, if the sellers can just close it below there. But like I said, this is a big point of interest, this green zone. This could dictate the entire day of gold. If buyers keep it above here, this could continue driving and squeezing a lot of short sellers. If the sellers can close it back below here, we could get that next nice drop coming through the market. But right now, it's still holding strong. Okay, so we got 2 more minutes to go, and just heads up, we're going into 4 a.m. Okay, so it's going to be a hourly switch up. There's going to be some volatility, so just careful trading. I do have to watch my stop loss up here. You know, it could open 4 a.m. and it's a big bullish candle just driving right through here, but I hope that's not the situation, but I have to prepare for it. One more minute to go. So ECB is the England Central Bank. We have Villeroy speaking right now. So the ECB has successfully normalized policy and inflation now in favorable zone. Being in favorable zone doesn't mean ECB is static. We will remain pragmatic going forward on rates according to the data flow and will be agile as necessary. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Any news? Not much, not much. Okay, so last 20 seconds going into the close into 4 a.m. New hourly candle opening. Still gold is still holding bullish momentum sentiment here. So it could continue bullish going into 4 a.m. But let's see here, okay? Here's the close. Again, I'm watching this red line. The volume is above the red line. Okay, so it's 4 a.m. now. This is the Italian news that's just released, the Italian industrial production. Okay, so that was that announcement at 4 a.m. Eastern on the Italian production. I don't think it's going to directly affect sorry, Danny. Yeah, it's early in the morning. I said England, ECB, I said England. I meant European. Sorry, really early over here, Danny. Thank you for correcting me. European Central Bank, my mistake. Okay, and DAX is still below the low of the day. We could see DAX continue to push down. Yeah, this reminds me of typical London volume. It made its big move pre-London 2 a.m. It was good, big bullish move. We pulled back. It went back up. This is where I sold, right here at 315. Okay, so I've been in this trade since almost an hour now. Okay, so it came down 40 pips. I didn't do anything. Just recapping this trade. Came all the way right back here at 3:30 a.m. when we switched up that 30-minute momentum. Came back down. We're testing the green zone. Came back up. Looking up here, it's a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. But we've got higher low, higher low, higher low. So we're stuck in this pennant right now. It's in this pennant flag. So what we need, like what I need is sellers to continue to push it down and close it back below here. Then maybe we can escape this 3,330 level and start bringing it back down, closing it back below this zone, and then get that redistribution of volume, all of this accumulation by the sellers, bringing it right through here. That's my hopes on this trade. I didn't intend it would take this long. I thought right here was perfect time it was going to break. It was set up perfectly to drop, but they saved the market at 330. They brought it back up. Trading in drawdown right now. That's my stop loss above here. I told you why I chose to put my stop loss above here, because looking back at the left of the chart, there's a critical area, and I just placed my stop above there. I know it gave it more room to breathe than I normally do, but this is a different session. This is London. It trades much different than COMEX or New York. Completely different volume. But we'll see what happens. So sellers right now are pushing it down. Maybe 4 a.m., this hourly push, we can get that momentum coming down. But we do have to break this green box and, again, close back below here. And then if we clean up everything on the 15s, we have bullish, bearish. Bullish, that was that sell. We came all the way down. It was looking perfect. But then they came right back up and then took this move right back up to there. Came back, inverted, and now we're kind of barcoding in this drawdown zone. And if this 15-minute candle can close below here, it could start that real nice push down. It's one of those, this might be one of those trades like after the call, when we finish trading, then it kind of breaks down. That happens to us a lot sometimes, right after I close the call, and then the move starts. But we'll see if it can happen during this situation. I doubt it. Holy shit. So you see the buyers are there. They're holding this, not allowing this to break. So it's now a hammer candle. Going to fill these wicks, possibly. And that's my stop right there. man. So like a big tug of war between the buyers and sellers. It's frustrating. I understand. It's very frustrating. It's frustrating for both parties, buyers and sellers. Very frustrating. But while you're going through this, like, just don't over leverage your account. That's it. That's all you can do. Like, I'm trading in drawdown, but I'm not panicking. I haven't leveraged my account. I'm not trading with any crazy lot sizing. I've already calculated how much I want for my profit, how much I'm risking on my stop loss. I'm letting the trade develop, you know. I'm not revenge trading. I'm not adding more trades. I'm just waiting for confirmations. If we can really close it back below this green zone, I think then technically we should be breaking down. I'm still have a bearish bias on this, but I don't know how long it's going to take for the sellers to close it back below this zone. Okay, so we got the sellers again. They're there, they're present, they're pushing this thing down, but it's how we close below this zone. It's green, it's a green box for a reason. Trevor, good morning. Welcome. Good morning to you, sir. We're babysitting this gold sell now. Okay, so we got a nice bearish candle pushing down with 3 minutes to go, but I'm not getting excited because every time it comes down here, it gets a wick and we'll go right back up. So let's see. Will this be our bearish bar that closes below here? And then we're right back. Well, I'm talking for myself here. I'm right back to break even now. So this is what I was saying, that situation. Like, I got into this trade at 3:15. It's almost been an hour where I was in profit, drawdown, and back to break even. So this is what I was saying. If you've had enough of this trade, and like, for example, myself, if I want to go back to bed now and go back to sleep, and, you know, I tried this trade out, but now it's back to break even, I could close it right now and then just go right back to sleep, you know? Like, if I wasn't trading with you guys. Because I don't know how long this is going to take to break down. It might take another hour, you know? It's how much time are you going to invest in sitting here watching this too? That's another thing. Unless you're okay with leaving a hard stop loss and like a hard take profit and walking away from the market. Yeah, so Finn, I agree with you. Yeah, you see that? Oh man, you see how frustrating that is? It was a beautiful bearish bar coming right at the bottom of that green box, ready to break, and then the buyers are there saving the day again. So, man, there's like nothing you can do there. It's just a tough area to sell into. So buyers are there. They could get the momentum coming right back, taking out the stop loss. And this could continue to make higher highs and be bullish. And then this proves that 327 here is a strong buying area. So that what I would do if I was going to continue to trade, I would place an alert here at 327. If the sellers 30 minutes from now, 1 hour from now, 2 hours from now can close it below there, like if it comes down, you get alert again later on. If it closes below there, you flip that, might be red zone, and then the gold officially breaks down. However, when it comes down there, you could be getting a signal and you could buy off of that green zone all day today. That's an established zone. You can clearly see how buyers are there this entire session, right there where we broke. But since then, they've been there holding. Man, that's like a big momentum switch on the candle. That was as bearish as we get. That's what we wanted. And then they flipped it into a hammer candle. It's not much we can do. There's not much we can do. Believe me, I would love to control these markets, but I can't. So I just got to take it candle by candle. So this is a strong candle, bullish, strong rejection. So momentum is bullish. You know, like these bearish ignited candles, they're nice. They're nice. They come down, but every time they come down, it's just a higher low, higher low, higher low. They start off perfect. They come down. Buyers are just buying the lows, and then they bring it right back up. So as nice they are to see bearish ignited candles, when there's no follow through, I don't really care for them, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And right now the sellers are not finishing anything. So, you know, it's all about how the candle closes. It's all about the follow through. Okay. Just remember that, you know, it's a lesson. Okay. Even when candles show a lot of bearish momentum right when they open, again, this was a beautiful candle. It was really bearish, really bearish, really bearish, really bearish right down there. And then last second, the buyers brought it right back up. Okay. So same with this candle. It opened really nice, bearish coming down. But again, it could just come down, and then 1 or 2 minutes into the close, come right back up bullish again. So again, it's a nice bearish candle, but it's the watch. Let's see. It's going to be how it's going to close. DAX is breaking down, guys. So if it closes below this yellow line, that yellow line was support, it could turn to resistance. So if you're looking to continue to sell with DAX, it could pull back, retest this yellow line, and continue dropping. James, nice. 1% on DAX. Oh, good. Took a while, but stuck with it. That's perfect. Yeah. I've been sticking with this gold sell, but it's not working out for me. Hey, see how it came down nice and bearish again, and it picked up a higher low, and now the candle's flipping. Wow, DAX, nice push down, guys. Okay, so you know this area right here, what I was saying with that yellow line, if that can become a red box, like it could come back inside here, retest that, and continue dropping down. Okay. Yeah, we got a hammer candle, so not looking good for me in the sell on gold. Looks like it's going to grab my stop loss. I'll verbally let you guys know as soon as I get stopped out. Sellers are weak. Maybe they might show up 6 a.m., maybe in Colmex, but I'm not willing to sit here and wait for that. There's always more trading later on in the day. Now I look back. Man, I should have moved my stop loss there. When it dropped 30 pips, that's when I should have moved my stop loss to break even. I would have got break even right there, but you know, it's those woulda, shoulda, couldas. Holy, DAX is really breaking down, guys. Wow, holy shit. Why couldn't that happen with us with gold? That's the bar we needed on gold. Look at the daily candle, how it flipped. My goodness. Remember how this was a bullish candle when we kind of started our analysis? Look at how that daily candle flipped. Wow. Okay, that's a big push on DAX. Congratulations to you guys that got that. Wow, James, Samuel. Good job, guys. Man, that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful breakdown. Okay, guys, I'm about to get stopped out on gold. Unfortunately, DAX was a beautiful one. Holy, that's a big candle. Wow. Wow. That's a massive candle. Holy, that entire candle, guys, is 130 pips. My goodness. So cut that in half, okay? Because if it pulls back into that, this thing could continue selling. Where's half of it? Half of it is probably right around there. Okay, I'm just guessing that that's where half is. Bring your Fibonacci tool from where that candle opened to where it closed. Okay, so I was right in there. Yeah. If you want your entire zone, go a little bit above there, a little bit below there. And there's your zone right there, okay? So you see how it's coming right back up bullish? It's coming up bullish. It could trade right into there, and you could kind of see maybe a rejection. Maybe look right in there, and then continue to push back down, okay? The original position is if it doesn't hold here, then it will test right back up there. Okay, guys, I'm about a few pips away from getting stopped out. I'll let you guys know in a second as soon as they stop me out. Okay, I got stopped out. Okay, so that's the final stop loss right there. So the buyers are strong on gold, guys. So what I would be doing is not counter trading, not counter selling, just trade with this trend. So this purple line, what I would do at 3,328, place an alert, and I would be buying pullbacks. That's it. It's, like right there, if it comes back, buy that. Okay, so gold is very strong. So guys, I'm going to stay another 10 minutes till 4:30, and then that's good enough for this session. There is bearish divergence, okay, but you can see like on gold how it's making these new highs like up to there, and when it was overbought right there, as it's coming down, you can see the strength is decreasing, okay, while the price is going up. So, you know, technically we should be looking sells, but it's coming right back up to a strong 70 point overbought, but it's also an area of strength. And that's why we're seeing buyers continue to push it through here, target stop losses. You know, like this is where I see, okay, I got stopped out, and then you can see like a shooting star candle. That's where maybe, you know, you kind of want to smack it back down with another sell, but then it could just come down again, pull back, and then go right back up. So I wouldn't be looking for sells unless the sellers can close it below this green zone. Because what it could do is it could just pull back right into here. You go into a sell, and then the buyers are continuing to push it right back. Again, could sell, but then this is now support, and then you're continuing to move up there. So you're just making matters worse for yourself by continuing to sell a strong security. Unless it closes below there, that's the only time I would maybe entertain selling gold. The sellers bring it back there and close it below there, retest this, then that's where, you know, like where I originally sold, I would be looking for that. Then all of this is, they came up, they grabbed that liquidity, coming back down, then you could get that good sell. I think that's going to happen. When Dave starts the 8 a.m. session, that's my opinion. I think gold is going to reverse all of its gains and come and start selling down in here. That's my opinion. We'll see if that happens later. Leading into kind of pre-New York and COMEX. Okay, and you see that bullish candle? Like if you're still in sells on DAX, see how it came up, lower high, it didn't really come into that 50% zone, and they rejected it. So if they kind of get this, it could continue to sell down, back down into here. Your next daily point of interest is 23,900, that yellow line down in there. All in all, not bad London session. Like I thought it was going to be rather, sideways. We actually had a little bit of moves. Okay, it's encouraging to see in London. There wasn't too much. It wasn't too much news. But leading into, if you're going to, well, a lot of you guys are going to continue trading, but when we come into 8:30, normally we have North American news. We don't have anything today. Not much going on news-wise, just President Trump speaking at, when the market closes, stock market at 4 p.m. And then Wednesday. Wednesday is when everything starts this week. We got our core CPI and our CPI year over year, month over month, 3 red folders tomorrow morning at 8:30. And then Thursday, we also have our PPI coming in at 8:30. So things will start to open up tomorrow, midweek, Wednesday, especially with these red folder news. That's when it's going to get interesting this week. I really want to get into sell now on gold. Do you guys mind if I stay another 30 minutes with you guys and try one more sell here? Okay, I'm going to go in. This is my last trade for this session. Okay, I want to see if the sellers can bring it right back down to that green box, and I'm going to keep a tight stop loss. Okay, I'm just above the previous high. I want to see, because this red line right over here, that was my stop loss. Okay, so I see now how high they came up above my stop loss. I got a bearish bar opening right at that red line. So I'm just going to hold this just for maybe the next 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes with you guys and see what happens here. But looking to recover a little bit. Comes back down there. Again, it's 50 pips. Okay. So this one I'm going to trade a little bit differently than I did the other one. And then this will be my final trade for this session. So that's what I was talking about, that bearish divergence. That's where it took out my stop, came down, closed right there. And so I'm just looking for just a nice bearish leg to come through here. I like maybe how the 15-minute candle is pinned up there. I think this could start, this bearish leg coming down. Okay, 60 more seconds to go into the close of this candle. Okay, so let's see what we can get here. That's an encouraging candle. I like how the 15-minute is pinned. That's what I like. That's what I'm looking at. On another chart, I'm looking at that 15-minute candle. That's why I went in. They pinned it. It's a nice shooting star candle coming down. I'm watching the 5-minute body. If it can close below this. Okay. It's in profit right away, but I'm looking for that bigger move. Like this entire call, I've been looking for that bigger move. But, we'll see what it does here. Okay, here's the close. Again, where's 50% of this? Okay, 50% is like right there at 3331. So if it does come back up bullish, we can utilize 50% of that. Hopefully it doesn't, because it's got a low wick. Maybe if it just rejects right now, we could come all the way right back down to that green box and collect 50 pips down there, okay? If this 15-minute candle continues to push, look at it, it's a beautiful shooting star candle, and this 15 has 4.5 minutes to go. So can it really just bleed out right back down to that green box? Or just close below this 15-minute point of interest and this psychological area at 3,330. Okay, so turn bullish. We couldn't break that little tiny wick there. It didn't break it. So it's technically it's coming back up, but we still have 50% for a retracement. However, if we can get a lower high, that's perfect. And then it can break that wick. And then I know that that 15-minute candle is pushing down. Okay, but if it needs to retest, 50% is right there. See this little tiny doji candle right in here? It doesn't have much to break, just that little tiny wick. But what it's battling is the 15-minute point of interest right there. There's a body and a body right there. And it's that psychological 3,330. So that's what we've got to really break. And this thing could drop all the way down into here. And it will be an easy 50 pips if we can just break that. Here it is. Can we get it now to just break down? Man, that's that 15-minute bar that's just struggling right there. Come on. Okay, so it's breaking. We got half the candle to go, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so we are pushing down. It's again about 25 pips down there, but I'm looking for the green zone. Okay, so that's that 15-minute candle breaking. There, we got that move coming down on the 15. That's why I entered that. I like that where they pinned it. It was beautiful. And they closed it right there, and as it opened, that's where I sold. Okay, so, you know, it was quick. I went in quick on this one. I liked where it was set up there. Okay, so guys, we're pushing down. We're filling these wicks now. Okay, so that's 30 pips down there. Okay, but I'm looking for that green zone, 50. And then that's when I'll go to a break even and start scaling out a little bit if it gets down there. However, if we can carry this momentum into 430 and break this green zone, this could really start to break down. Okay, and then to the yellow line would be about 65 pips, and taking out the low is 80 pips down there. That would recover everything, the previous trade, with some additional profit. Okay, so let's see, 60 seconds to go. The buyers have been showing strength this entire session. So it's nice. This is a nice move, but sellers gotta really, with conviction, like this 15-minute bar needs to close strong. And then look at what we got going on at the green box. Your 200 EMA, your 9 EMAs down there. So hopefully it can attract this like a magnet down into here. And 30 seconds to go into the close. Okay. DAX is still holding 50% there and could continue pushing down. Okay, guys, please manage this trade on your own, guys. You know, if you want to reduce your risk now, it should be up, should be well up 40 pips. Okay, 30 there, 40 would be right into there. I'm looking to break this green zone. Here's the close, okay? Close. So I can kind of just bring down this cut line to quickly. I'm just bringing it because it's 430 right to 50% of that previous bearish candle. Okay, so we're retesting it right now. Okay, so will it get rejected right now and then push down? So, and these 30-minute candles, okay, can just come down there and just test this little green zone. We're not too far away. Ovidius, you want to add another sell if it crosses 3325? Oh yeah, if it breaks 3325, the L line, it could fall like a rock down there. That was the original one that I wanted. Yeah. First, we got to get down to our green zone, 3327. So you see how it's retesting 50% that red line? We're still holding below here. It's just got a short wick. Could easily fill that and drop. But the sellers, where are they? In COMEX in New York, they're here. Like when they sell, they push and move. Here, they're just, where are they? Where are the sellers at on gold? London, I guess it's only buyers. I gotta know this. So next time we trade London, we just gotta be buyers of gold, not sellers. Okay, so that's the candle we want. We got the retest of 50%. We're filling the low wick. There we go. That's the bar we want. Maybe a nice 3-bar play dropping into our green box. And then that's when you should be reducing your risk. If it comes in the green box, it's 40 to 50 pips in there. Okay, so just giving you a heads up. If it does come in there, then you kind of want to reduce your risk. Okay, and then DAX is retesting the red zone right now. Okay, we got the volume below the 9 EMA. If you guys do follow EMAs, we closed below the 9 EMA on the previous bar. We're retesting the 9 EMA for resistance. It's just the lack of sellers down into here. Like, where are they? Just hit the bid. Like, where are the sellers? Why are we not hitting the bid down in here to break this zone? If we don't get it down here, all we're doing is we're allowing buyers to step back in and just buy this move right back up. Okay, so there's no follow through on the sellers. I'm very disappointed on the sellers on gold this morning. Nigel, is it time for me to put a Lambo lot in? I would put a Lambo, Nigel, if the sellers could show me a little strength. Right now, where are they? I'll put a little Honda Civic lot in and just test things out. But the Lambos, I saved those guys when we got good, when I got good conviction that the sellers are here. They're not. Man, like it's such a struggle with this zone here today. We got a little spin top doji candle just consolidating down in here. But You know why this zone is so hard to break right now is because on the 15s, like look, you got your 200 EMA, your 90 EMA, all kind of converged right in that green zone. So, but all I want to do is just test to trade in there. That's it. And then once we test in there, that's when we can break that block. Okay, so guys, you see DAX now, it's kind of retraced right back into that zone. Okay, so it's trading into that. That's where we measured 50% of that big bearish candle. So it's trading right in there. Will it get rejected back down, or will they close it kind of above here and then maybe it will start to reverse back up? We got a nice bearish bar. Again, double retest of 50% of that previous one, pushing down. Now, can we take out that low and just drive into this green zone? This is where it needs to happen, like right now. Okay, like there's no more waiting on this. The sellers, this is their opportunity to break this zone. You got everything lined up perfectly. You got the higher time frames pushing down. Doesn't get any better than this to break this position, but here it is. We'll see now. But to there's about almost 40 pips, okay? So there's 40, okay? So please, guys, manage the risk above. If you guys are okay with 40 to 50 pips, there's 45. Bottom there would be 50, okay? So you don't need to leave the open stop loss how I have right now. You can start to reduce your risk if you like. You can scale out. You can go to break even. That's up to you. And then we're coming into 2.5 minutes to go to close out this final 5-minute candle. And man, this would be really nice if we can break this green zone. But it's not easy. You've seen this entire call. It's been rather difficult. Samuel, you got 50% and remainder break even stop loss. Perfect. That's good, Samuel. That's awesome. Okay, guys. You see how DAX traded right into the red zone? And then look at what they're doing. They're bringing it right back down. Okay, so that's that arrow ahead. Trading right into that red zone. And then you see how they're bringing it down now. Okay. Okay, good. Let's fill this prior candle. That was that candle we were going to break this zone earlier. Come on, come on. If this thing can close back below this, oh shit. We might get an ignited bearish candle dropping additional momentum. Holy, the excitement of London. Come on, let's go. I feel like dropping a couple Lambo lots right now, Nigel. To get this thing moving. Let's go. Okay, one more minute, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I just want to warn you guys. If it kind of closes in this green zone, don't be surprised if we get a bullish candle opening back up, okay? So can the sellers close this with conviction, with a statement saying we're here, we're in charge now. Here we go, guys. I'm very technical, so I apologize that I'm very technical, but I watch to see, will the bar close below that green zone, in it, above it, where? Okay, so I really zoom in to watch these things. And there is the last low wick right there. Okay, so you see the buyer stepped in right at the end. 7 seconds to go. We're closing inside the green zone. It's still a green zone. The next candle could open bullish. Okay, it opened bearish right away. Okay, so where's 50% of that previous bearish candle? I would say it's right there. There's 50%, and it's the previous wick. That wick was support. That wick was support. 50% of the volume can turn into resistance. We got an ignited bearish candle open. So can we just fill this wick and take out that next? And then we could drop down easily, fill right down to that yellow line. And that would be 65 pips coming down right into there. If we can just get that bearish push, one push coming out of this green zone. Because otherwise, we're going to assume that buyers are going to be here and they're going to bring it right back up. But first, when they bring it up, they got to test this red line. Then they got to test that next red line. I don't want them testing any red lines. I want the sellers to come in the market right now and drop this thing. This is the time where you break the levels. All of these buyers here, their stop losses are, like these buyers right here, their stops are right here. If I was a market maker, I would come hunt for their stops right now. That's it. It's built to break. Come take out these lows. Start sweeping liquidity. Who's in charge? Who are the market makers in charge of London right now? I need to give them a telephone call and ask them, what are they doing? Who? Bank of England, or who's in charge here? We got to give them a call and tell them, what are you guys doing down here? Why are you guys teasing all the sellers like this? Okay, so now you got the buyers in a green box coming back up, retesting 50%. It looks like it's a bullish candle. So got to go through these motions again. I don't think I'm going to be here to go through these motions with you guys because I got to get at least 2 more hours of some sleep. But I can stay with you guys for the next like 10 minutes. But I cannot endure this anymore. Have you guys seen a support zone hold for this long? It's holding really good, but when it breaks, that's when it really breaks, and we're still not there. We're working on it. We're working on it. That's a good candle. So it didn't hold 50% of our previous candle. It came all the way back up to the point of interest, and the sellers are there. Rejected it back down. That's perfect. We've absorbed those buyers. Now, Bank of Europe, market makers, let's start to sell gold now, please, so Ron can get some good sound sleep and recover some profit here and some losses. Come on, this is the time to break this shit down. Again, who's in charge of this? I think they're listening to us. It's like, after these sessions, I'm like, are they listening to us? Are they listening to our conversations? Like, are they tapped in, listening to us right now? Maybe we should do reverse psychology. We should tell them that we're buying and then it will sell. Watch. Okay, we got the shooting star candle. It was very, very bullish, came all the way back up. They rejected it back down. But again, this entire call, today's lesson is going to be, where is the follow through? Where's the follow through? This has 45 seconds to close. This is when you want to follow through. All of those early buyers in that candle, this is when you want to, kind of put the strangle on them. Squeeze them and push it down. Holy. I'm getting stressed out doing this London call. I haven't done this call in like a year, and I don't know if I want to do this again. I can't. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing with you guys. But guys, that's a good trade, like right there. You know, like if you want, that's 50 pips. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna go down to break even now. Okay, just to keep my head clear. I'm up 50 pips. I'm on a break even. Okay, I want to break here and then collect some profit coming down into there. Okay, so it technically still has not closed below that green zone. Okay, this is a new 15-minute candle at 4:45 a.m. This is what we got going down. So I sold that pinned bar as soon as it came right there. I liked that setup. I got in, but you still see we're still trading in that green box. So I still don't see any volume closing below there. This could be an impulse break. I love impulse when I'm in a sell. If it's impulsively going in my way, that's perfect. But I also want to see a 5-minute body close below here. Okay. But all of us, we should at least be at a break even now, up 50 pips. Okay. But take out some profit too. You know, if you recovered a little bit, I would recommend taking some profit out. However, if you want to stick with me and hold this, if this breaks, we could drop a little further. I haven't taken out anything. All I've done so far is taken my stop loss to break even. I'm really anticipating a break of this structure right here. Okay, here we go. There we go. Finally. Holy man. Finally. Shit. God. Okay, so we broke. This is an impulse break. Again, we got to follow through. Will the volume close below this green zone? And then we can flip this zone red. And then it might be acting resistance going forward. Okay. And then coming down to this yellow line is approximately 65, 70 pips down there. Okay. From the original entry point right there. So definitely be taking something out. But if you guys want to hold this and it breaks, that's the last thing holding up gold for this whole session, was when we were in that earlier sell in profit and then this big move happened. Okay. No problem, guys. It's my pleasure staying with you guys today. My pleasure, Jason. If you guys on YouTube wouldn't mind hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We welcome you guys to SST. We trade around the clock here. Maybe we'll add some London sessions in the mix. I don't mind this. We'll do some futures sessions, 8 p.m. We do pre-New Yorks with Dave. We do post-New Yorks. We do Monday to Friday. Normally we do COMEX and Wall Street like 7 to 10. So we're all over the place, but you know. I used to trade this London session a lot. But as I'm getting older, it's tough because I like to sleep at this time. But when I was younger, I was always trading this session late at night. Yeah, Nigel, it's been a while since I've done London. Oof. At least a year or two. Okay, guys, so here's the close in. 1:20. Again, it's so important where the volume closes. I can't stress that enough. Hopefully, if you guys learned anything out of today's session, it's where this volume closes in these zones. Like you see, that was a nice bearish candle where we're pushing down, but it came right back up, and then now it's coming right back down. Where will this official volume close? Will it be blue volume? Will it be black volume? Will it close inside the zone? Will it close above the zone? Below it? This is why I always zoom in when I'm like scalping the markets. You know, sometimes I'm just focused on one chart like this when I'm trading. Okay, so this is where I'm really watching in depth to see where this thing is going to close in the next 35 seconds. Okay, so buyers are bringing it right back up because that was that initial impulse move. We broke the zone. Buyers are bringing it right back up. It might close in here. It might start another leg coming back up. But again, we got resistance points. We're going to utilize this red line again. We're going to utilize that red line again. If it comes all the way like where we entered, 50% that's the final kind of location right there, to keep this move going down. Okay, so where did we close? We closed inside the green zone. See how the next bar opens? A bullish ignited bar. It just came right back up. Okay, so we're still trading in a green zone. It's where buyers are sitting. That's why it's green. So if this candle closed bearish below it, I would have flipped this zone red, but I cannot do that technically. It's still, that's why this candle is bullish ignited, coming right back up. It's in the green zone. Okay, if sellers are here, they have to absorb these buyers and then flip this candle back down, and then we got to push down again. But I can't change the zone or the structure until the body volume verifies that. Okay, see how it came up? It opened bullish ignited, it came up right to the top, and then they pushed it right back down. Okay, so now we're trading in the zone. So I'm telling us, like, if this can break down and close below, we could really get that continuation. Like trades like this, if you're holding, they can turn into 60, 70, 80, 100 pip moves. But this structure is it's holding the market right now. Okay, so again, it came back up. I count in my head. How many times does it come up? How many times do they reject it? Like I count all of these things in my head. It came up, back down. It came up, back down. I think in my head so far 3 times. It came up here and back down. But see how still strong it is. Now it's a shooting star candle pushing down. Again, the buyers are stepping in. It's a tug of war here. Okay, you can look at this green box as like a consolidated zone as well. Okay, if you know, like this is where the battle begins in here, but it's green, giving the benefit of the doubt that there's more buyers than there is sellers here, unless the sellers can prove to me that they can close it below here and then it turns red, and then the buyers are buying into a red zone, and then we can further push down for new lows. But see how it's still holding in there. Holy. So this is where the market now can retrace back up, and this is where it can eat away at your profits. Okay, that's what sucks when you're doing some intraday trading or like scalping the markets. You have some nice profit and we want more, and then there's going to be a pullback, but maybe it pulls back and they continue to push it down with lower highs. Yeah, it's going to eat away at some of our profit, but if our eyes are on the bigger prize, you got to go through this, unfortunately. You know, otherwise, just when it drop down into the green box, do your thing. Close out the trade and grab your pips and get out. Okay, or leave runners. What I normally do is I take out 80% and I keep 20% running. Okay, so we got now, while I was saying all that, we got less than 2 minutes left in this bar. So what does it look like? It looks like it opened bullish. It came up. What point is it retesting? That red line. The 9 EMA now has caught up to our red line. Okay, so it's acting as support, resistance. But that push, that was buyers stepping in. Okay, so it doesn't surprise me that they're here in a green zone. And then we're going into 5 a.m. in the next 6 minutes. So this is now a pullback on this leg that's selling down. So it's man, what time did we start this call at? At 2 a.m. So you can see here at 2:30, it's been holding this. Yeah, we had those minor breaks, but it's been holding for like 2 hours, this zone. Holy shit, strong zone. Will the sellers break this thing down today? I don't know. I'll probably be sleeping by then. But this trade's at a break even. So worst case scenario is they tap me out at break even. And I learn from my mistakes. I didn't do anything in the green box, up 50 pips. Why? Because my bias is gold is going to sell. It's going to sell, you know? It's just go with your gut instinct. I'm not trading like my robotic style how I normally do, and that's affecting me on this trade. So now what I got to do is I got to trust this upper resistance, okay, to continue to sell the move down. There's a lot of structure right here. Okay, what if the sellers are stepping in at this area in the market? What if they're making this a red zone right here? Okay, see over there where it closed below, it came in there, back down. It came in there, back down. It came in there, back down. There we impulsively broke the green zone. That was good. That was a nice break, but no follow through. And it wasn't a surprise that the buyers came right back up. And then look at now how the sellers are bringing it right back down. Okay, so maybe this will act as some resistance momentarily. And this is our upper resistance, but that's my break even. That's where I enter the trade and I'm at a break even. And gold is stubborn like this. If you're not used to trading gold, you're going to get used to this. Gold is very stubborn. Okay, it's a stubborn security. That's why when you're trading this, you need to trade with a sound plan. You got to know exactly what you're looking for. Even when you're buying. If you're buying, it's going to a resistance, you got to be doing something. Same here when it's selling. I didn't do anything down there. Now it's coming right back up. It could definitely come right back down, but it could also clear this and come right back up there. And it's still bullish. And it's really not breaking down. It's still holding this zone. Okay, guys? But I don't think I'm going to stay past 5 a.m. I'll stay with you guys for the close of this candle in the next 3.5 minutes. And then I guess my time will be over here. And then Dave will be coming, stepping in at 8 a.m. And then I will be continuing to renovate this room down here. Okay, sellers are here at this red zone, but follow through, follow through, follow through. Where is the follow through? Again, we just came right down in the green box and they got a wick. So they're here. The buyers are here waiting. You know, they're buying every single dip. Sellers, all they got to do is just kind of sell it down here and then squeeze all those buyers. And that will be such a nice drop. I can't even explain it. I was hoping it would have happened already, but the market is not ready to redistribute that volume to the downside yet. And we're going into a new hourly candle in 2 minutes, which is going to be 5 a.m. So sometimes what you can do is refer to your hourly candles and see what's happening. These are our hourly candles, okay? So it's a strong uptrend that started at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We've got now an indecision 4 a.m. hourly candle. Maybe 5 a.m. might start that next leg coming down. Okay, but for it to start, we've got to close below this green zone. Like, if you don't believe me, place an alert at 3,327 and watch it for the rest of the day and see when bearish volume closes below there, how the market moves right there, right below that green zone, 3,327. And just back test it for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow when we get on the call, I'm going to ask you about it. I'm going to ask you, what happened below 3,327 if the sellers closed it below there? And then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, so here's the close in 10 seconds. Looks like the buyers are still here. So again, we're going into 5 a.m. off of a nice rejection. So the next candle could open bullish and start to come back up. Okay, but it closed with a little bit of a bearish volume. So can it hold below this red zone, and can sellers push it back down and attempt again early in the hour at 5 a.m. to continue to try and break this green box? Otherwise, buyers are accumulating pending orders right now. They're getting in here pending and ready to continue to buy. However, if the sellers are ready to redistribute this volume, again, follow through. Break this, push it down, close it below here, flip the zone red, and then we could get that continuation to the downside. Normally, when I end the call, the trade will run in my direction. So I hope that that's the case. I'm at a break even regardless if it comes up there, but I'm hoping for this thing to break down, okay, without coming to the break even. But guys, that's it for me, because I got to get at least 2.5 more hours of sleep till 7:30, because I got to start renovations down here at 8 a.m. So guys, that's it for me. I appreciate everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's call, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll let you guys know. Maybe we'll start like now, like 5 a.m. and we'll go till like 8 a.m. So maybe if I'm a little extra tired, I'll get a little extra sleep. But I'll let you guys know tomorrow. So I'll just keep you guys updated. Either we start at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. after, and then we come trade what's after London market open. But I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Dave will be on in just a few more hours. So join Dave. And then if you guys are going to be in the Discord, share your charts, share your knowledge in the Discord with each other, and share your setups. I'm thinking this is going to break down. Sometimes when I get off the call, it breaks down. It's done that a lot of times. Hopefully this is the situation. If we get off the call, gold will break down. Okay, guys? And then we can recover a little bit of our loss back on this trade. Okay, guys? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. I enjoyed this session. I missed London sessions. I haven't done these in a long time. So I don't mind them, but it's nice to do them once in a while. Okay, guys? So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your day trading. I hope that this gold will break down for us. But again, watch for volume to close below 3327. It could be a big shift in momentum, and we could see it develop maybe. Okay? Have a good day, guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hit the likes and subscribe to the channel if you guys can. And we do appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Recording stopped.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.